You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 11th day of December, 2019. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you cannot see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, not to worry, point any internet-connected browser to cfrn.net/live, and there you will find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, a special edition today. We're going to have Tony back with us. We spoke with her earlier in the week. Tony is a longtime CFRN partner. We discussed on Monday quite an interesting opportunity. Now, we are not licensed brokers. We're not attorneys. We're not accountants. If you need that type of advice, you should go to those licensed professionals to get such advice. We are going to talk about today a very exciting investment opportunity that begins at the top of the hour, 1 p.m. Eastern. Between now and then, we'll cover all of the normal grounds that we cover during our radio broadcast each day. Let me put up a chart. Make sure you can see the chart. Let's start out today with a daily chart. And we'll use this. We'll make this daily. We'll make it the ES. And we'll squeeze it up a little bit. Here we are. Now, back on the 3rd of December, we pulled back to the BBC and the 24% Fibonacci retracement of the last leg up. Now, if you know anything about fibs, Fibonacci, there are Fibonacci retracements, there are Fibonacci extensions. Heck, there's even some $20,000 software out there that will help you locate these precious points on your chart. Now, I'm about to let a really big cat out of the bag. Most trading platforms, including yours, have Fibonacci tools for free. Do they do everything that the really expensive fib software does? No. Does it do enough to get you through the day? In my opinion, it does. Now, if you've always wanted to learn about fibs, really get an understanding, but you kind of don't want to spend that much money, here's what I want you to do. Jot down this telephone number, 949-42-EMINI, or the email address support@cfrn.net. That's going to put you in touch with Valerie. Valerie will arrange a no-cost 45-minute mentoring session with myself or Michael. We will walk you through what Fibonacci is, what it isn't, and how to put the free tools to work that you already own if you have a futures trading platform or even a stock trading platform. Okay? That's our little Christmas something something to you. Yes, already your stocking has begun to fill up. It's going to be a great Christmas. Right here is the 24% Fibonacci retracement that I spoke of. This green line we call the BBC. Got to call it something. Best to have a name for it that kind of describes what it is and what it does. It simply means this. When price crosses above this green line, we are bullish, or we anticipate higher prices for whatever time frame we're looking at. 1 minute, 5 minute, hourly, daily, you get the idea. When price crosses below the green line, we become bearish. We anticipate lower prices. As you can see, works pretty good, right? Markets are fractal in nature. So what that means is, if I were to switch this to a 5-minute chart, I'm going to pull these for a minute. Okay. If I were to switch this to a 5-minute chart, you would see that when price crosses above that green line, we anticipate higher prices. When price crosses below, we anticipate lower prices. When price pulls up to the BBC, we expect it to be good resistance. And when price drops to the BBC, we expect it to be good support. Now that's on a daily, 5-minute. Oh, let's just pull something out of the air. Let's go monthly. Let's use a continuous chart to give us more data. And you'll see my data on this platform only goes back to 2009. I guess they figure a decade of data is sufficient, and I believe it is. What you don't see on this monthly chart since 2009, you don't see a bearish cross. You may have heard that we're in the mother of all bull markets right now. And based on this chart, I think I would agree. If we switch that to a smaller time frame, say a weekly chart, we have in fact had some bearish crosses, but you'll notice on this weekly what happens when we pull back to the BBC. It holds more often than it doesn't. Okay, so we looked at daily, we looked at monthly, we looked at weekly. Goodness, what else do I have in my bag of tricks? Some of you may, especially those of you who are familiar with Fibonacci and the golden ratio and all of that, fibs, 1, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, etc. The sequence, right? I know that myself personally, when I first started trading futures and learned about Fibonacci and what Fibonacci did with some rabbits back in the 14th century, I liked using a tick chart. One of the popular ones seems to be an 89 tick chart, because that is a number in the sequence. When price gets below the BBC, we anticipate lower prices. And when price gets above, we anticipate higher prices. And when price pulls back, it holds more often than it doesn't. Okay? All right, so let's go back to the current month, the front month as they call it. We are still in the December contract. We will be rolling that to the next contract. Michael, when do we roll?
Well, today's 12/11. Let's see. Probably Friday.
Okay. So on Friday, guys, we will be rolling our contract. If you are certain brokers, just auto roll you. So Thursday, I guess, will be what they call the official rollover day. So when you come into work Thursday morning, unless you trade overnight the way we do, if you kind of work the day session, when you come in Thursday, your platform may have already rolled you forward. So just double check, make sure that the numbers on your chart match the numbers in your DOM. Okay. Last thing in the world you want to do is to have one set of numbers on your chart, another set of numbers. So the next one's going to be ESH20. That's what we'll roll forward to. Okay. And you'll go, well, gee, that kind of looks like the same thing. Good eyes. Okay. All right. So for now, let's stick with the December contract. Okay. We've already established that from this swing low to the all-time historic high in the S&P, we've accomplished a 24% Fibonacci retracement, and we expect that to give us a decent bounce. As you can see, it did. We also pulled back to that BBC bull bear cross, right? cross this way, we're bullish, cross this way, we're bearish. Just very simple. Simple by design, I might add. Took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of time, a lot of treasure, dashed hopes, and sleepless nights to put together something this simple. We tend to think of, you know, something that's really complicated. That would take all your time and all your treasure and all your energy and just kind of suck the life out of you. But you're about to learn, if you haven't already learned, that futures is a whole another universe. Okay, so we've pulled back to the 24, which should give us a bounce, and it did. We've pulled back to the BBC, which should give us a bounce, and it did. Question now, are we going to be able to take out that trend line, take out the all-time historic high, and then go on to establish a new all-time historic high? And the answer to that question is yes, absolutely. Indices are created to move higher. They're programmed to move higher. As an example, the S&P consists of 500 large cap companies, and there's a long list of qualifications that are looked at before a company is added or taken out of the S&P 500. If a company misses their numbers a couple times, or there's some other turmoil or subterfuge uncovered going on in the company, then the board over at Standard & Poor's, they will kick that company to the curb, and they will find a fresh, strong bull who's beat their numbers a couple times, et cetera, and they'll replace it. So over time, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a market that continuously goes higher. Doesn't go higher every day, every week, or every month, but over time, you can see that it is exactly what it does. So will we put in a new all-time historic high? The answer is yes. When? Well, that's a different question with a different answer. We have another tool, thanks to our friend Fibonacci. If we look at just this last leg up, using not our retracement tool, but our extension tool, we'll go from that swing low to that swing high. We'll then connect it to the retracement low right there. How about right there? I'm closing in on it. Now this is a daily chart. You want to get it as close to the tick as you can, okay, but don't get carried away. So from the low, the all-time historic high, to the retracement low, what this is giving us are projected prices into the future based purely on math and nothing else, okay? Not impeachment hearings, not tariffs, math. It's a function of math. If we're able to take out the trend line, take out the all-time high, the next obstacle or target, with us, those terms are interchangeable. And that number is up at, looks like about, we'll call it 3180, okay? So we take out the trend line, take out the high, and there we go. If it unfolds differently, if in fact, looking at just the last leg up, okay, we go from the low to the high. The short lines are your extensions, the long lines are your retracements, okay. We pull back to the BBC, we've pulled back to the 24. If we fail to take out these obstacles overhead, that will send price back to the BBC. If it doesn't hold, that will send us once again to the 24, okay? That doesn't hold, then we're staring at that retracement low, and what I really have my eyes on. This swing high connected to that swing high snuggles up right against the 38% Fibonacci retracement. If that doesn't hold, then of course we have the 50. Then the next one that really gets my attention is the 62. Right there, later in the show, and if not today, tomorrow, or yesterday's show, I covered it in depth. Right here, this is an important price, important area. It is on the daily chart where the bullish cross took place. That lines up beautifully with that 62% Fibonacci retracement. Remember, these are your extensions where price may go in the future, will eventually go because of the nature of how these indices are put together. The long lines are where we expect to find good support if we're not able to take out the highs straight away. I'm going to give you the numbers from around the world, cash markets, starting here in the US. Then Michael will pop in. He'll give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. Because we have a Fed announcement this afternoon. Markets have been pretty quiet. Markets tend to do that ahead of a major economic report. And a Fed announcement is about as big as they get. Now, the consensus, I believe, is that the Fed will take no action. What everyone will be listening for, of course, is the language that they use. Okay, we accept that you're not going to lower rates or raise rates today, but what are you going to do at the next meeting and the meeting after that and all of the meetings that lead up to the election next year? Okay, so here are the numbers from around the world. Starting in the US, the Dow currently down 55 points, NASDAQ up 11, S&P 500 up 1.5, Russell 2000 down 3. That is the definition of quiet trade. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 73 cents, trading 58.51 last. That's a drop of 1.25%. Gold up $7.90, trading 14.76 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a loss of 18 points. Shanghai gained 7. Hang Seng, almost a mover and a shaker. There was a gain on the Hang Seng of 208 points for the session. Now, that's still only a gain for the Hang Seng of about 0.75%. And in the Asian markets, at the close, FTSE up 2.5 points, DAX up 76, CAC up almost 13. Again, pretty clear definition of quiet trade. For the day, that gives us a mixed day in Asia, a green day in the UK, and I believe we have elections tomorrow. I think that's the day. We'll find out if Boris is going to have a job or not. And here in the US, it's a mixed session so far. We have the NASDAQ and the S&P in the green, not by much, but in the green. The Dow and the Russell are both slightly in the red. So with that, we'll go to Michael for the recap. I'll try to have John in here. If you can squeeze us in between calls, we'll talk to John for a few minutes before Tony comes on. And if you have anyone in your universe that has an interest in gold or cryptocurrency, you might want to shoot them an email or even a phone call. Remember phone calls? Yeah, you can actually use that iPhone to make phone calls, or just shoot them a text message. That's something you're probably more familiar with these days. Now, I do want to apologize. I had some videos I was going to show you today as we spoke with Tony, but GoToWebinar threw a monkey wrench in it. We're going to see what happens, but nonetheless, we're going to talk to her. We're going to answer as many of your questions as we can. And there's no good or bad question. Ask any question you want, like, what the heck is a KaratBar? What the heck's a cryptocurrency? I think we all know what gold is, but we're going to talk today about a cryptocurrency backed by physical gold. Michael, take it away.
Okay, I got it. I got it right now. You should be looking at my screen, which has our home page on it.
We got you locked and loaded.
Okay, good. All right, so if you have not taken a free trial with us, well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 11th day of December, 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at cfrn.net. And right over here, where it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net, just click on that, and it will bring you to this page, eminitrainingschool.com. You can go directly to this page, too, if you want to. And over here in the right-hand column, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Hit register now, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay, and that is that portion. Now, we'll look at the spreadsheet. We had another green day today. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you could read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 11th day of December, 2019. And today I made 12 ticks in Crude, and that was it. I only traded Crude today. Not on purpose, but because the markets were just not giving up any trades. Today it took 68 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 4 trades. So that puts us up 752.5 on the month. That's over 8 days, 8 trading days. And on the year, we're at 34,587. That's over 225 trading days, averaging 150 per day, 153 per day. Okay. So we'll look at the markets and what they did and didn't do, because they really didn't do much. You know, when they went in spurts, and the slingshot wasn't letting us trade. On gold, we had 0 trades, 0. I didn't miss anything. I just never had a trade set up today, and that is highly unusual. Now, during the break, there was a trade set up right here off the BBC. Okay, but that was trying to break. Okay, now the euro. The euro had some pre-market action, and I missed 1 trade right here on the euro, which would have been a break-even trade had I taken it. And then it just went sideways. During the break, I would not have taken anything in here because we don't have a nicely established trend. Okay, like this right here was a nice trend, and there was some opportunity, but that was all pre-market. Okay, so we had nothing on the euro. Crude oil. Let's take a look at crude. Scrolling. Okay, on the crude, I was, right here we're going into the high of the day, so I didn't do anything with that. We needed to break that dynamic resistance. We finally did break it here, and then I drew in this trend line. I said, we really need to close above that trend line. But when we finally did, the cycle was going down too steep. Okay. Then it just got ugly right through here. This is when the crude inventories came out. It just got ugly right through there. We finally took a trade over here. We had a break even. Then we took another trade right here. Was that a break even? No, that was a +1. Then we took another trade right here and picked up 9 ticks, got the goal for the day. And then here we had another break even. And here we had a +2. that was all we did with crude today. I'm just looking at it right in here and wondering why. Oh, because the trend line, yeah, we had dynamic resistance in the way. You know, if you were doing the 137s or the 128s or the 164s for that matter, there would have been a lot more opportunity for you. If you don't know what those are, you can email me at support@cfrn.net and I will let you know. I'll show you how to get to them. Okay, and this is all during the break right here. We had a nice leg up we're working on right now. There was a momentum long trade right here. Okay, but all through here, there was no trade. Now the ES. On the ES, we didn't do anything with it, but we did miss one trade right there. Okay. The ES, it kind of got stuck in this weekly trading zone this morning in the pre-market. Pulled back up into it, pulled away, didn't give a trade setup, pulled back into it. Then this right here gave us a trade setup, and what I said at the time was that's a shorting opportunity, but I didn't get filled, and it dropped. And then I said it's going to pull right back up into the zone probably, and it did, but it took it an hour, just about, to get back up into the zone. And since then, there has been one shorting opportunity right here, and that's it. And that was our morning session. Yeah, I'll go back over the numbers. Again, today is the 11th day of December, 2019. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you could read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We made 12 ticks in crude. That put us at plus 120 on the morning session. Today it took 68 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 4 trades. On the month now, that puts us at 752.5. That's over 8 days. And we're averaging just under $100 a day. On the year, though, we're at $34,587. That's over 225 days, and we're averaging $153 per day. Now, you got to take all that into perspective. The goal is not to just make $153 a day. Now, if you had 10 contracts on, that'd be $1,530 a day. Average, $1,530 a day. If you had 20 contracts on, it'd be $3,060 a day. Average on the year. Just something to think about. Okay. Now, let me minimize that. Come back over here and here. To take a free trial, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at cfrn.net, and in the right-hand column it says apply.cfrn.net right here. You can click on that, and it'll bring you to this page, or you can go directly to this page, eminitrainingschool.com, and in this page, in the right-hand column, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number, and you click register now. Once you hit register now, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do that, okay? Okay. And with that, we pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And John is out there too. Okay. Well, John's out there. Dwayne's not there. That's unusual. But anyway, looking at the markets right now, as we approach the FOMC this afternoon, the market's going to get really quiet. Probably really quiet. And, the shorting opportunity that we had over here on gold is working out, but we're going to break this dynamic support. the long opportunity that we had over here. Well, I'm not sure I would do anything with this because we're not really trending. Crude, we are starting to trend, and my number for crude for the week was 59.08. 59.08. And earlier today, we were all the way down here, 58.11. And so I figure we're going to get up there to 59.08 today. Usually it takes a few days for these things to follow through, but I think today we're probably going to get there quick. And I can just open up John's mic. Dwayne's not back, but I know we have Tony coming on today. So there. Okay. All right. And that's it. That's it for now. Okay, Dwayne must be on the phone with Tony. I imagine that's what's going on right now, because he just sent a message. All right. Well, the ES right here needs to put in a lower swing. It needs to break that dynamic support. For those of you who don't know, the dynamic support are these green dots right here. Dynamic resistance are the red dots. And to break it, you have to, like for dynamic resistance, to break it, you have to get up above it and close away from it. Okay. Pull away from it. And then it'll probably act as dynamic support when it pulls back to it. They're really only there. Okay. I opened up John's mic. He's here, but he's not active right now.
Alrighty. Okay.
Okay.
Recap of the recap.
Today it took 68 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day at $100 per contract.
That's good bingo for such a quiet day.
Yeah, it was a really quiet day. It was hard this morning to sit there the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I know. Okay. Especially when you're under a microscope, so to speak, or magnifying glass, everybody's watching and like, man, would this dude just do something?
Yeah, I know.
Well, sometimes there's nothing to do. I mean, you can always do something. You can always click if the markets are open, you can always click your mouse and live to regret it. Hopefully,
yeah.
Live to, you know.
Anybody can enter a trade. It's what you do after that.
And it's knowing, and that's where our indicators really do lend a hand. Not only do they help you see, spot, discover these high probability opportunities that we're always talking about, but they also let you know when there is not currently a high probability opportunity. And with a little bit of discipline and patience, you'll learn to resist the urge to click. So I'll grab these charts, get them off your hands. Now, we are experiencing, I think the technical term is snafu. That's for the U, snafu. Yeah, we had an issue this morning with the GoToWebinar platform. Tony, she's scrambling. She's had an issue just getting GoToWebinar to open. Valerie, I did send you a message. I'm sure that you saw that. You're probably on it right now, so thank you very much for that. We're just trying to get connected. We'll do what we have to do to make it happen. Okay, so all right. I did speak with John briefly. I let him know that we have a guest coming on at 1. So if he's going to pop in and share anything with us today, he will do so. Otherwise, I'm going to just grab the charts and I'm going to give you a screenshot, if you would like one, of the Concierge Trade Alerts from last night. And let me display the proper screen. It would be this one. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Now, I'll shut down the alerts. I got them out last night at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to drag them up, and if you want a screenshot, it's all yours. Okay. There we go. All right, let's get some charts open. We'll go to the S&P first. Now, we've dissected the daily chart, so we're going to drop down to our 30-minute chart. In the live training room each day, that's where Michael teaches our core methodology. This is where you learn what a setup is, what it looks like, and how to deal with it. We use the range chart, the 4-tick range chart. Now, that's not a 4-tick chart. It would be much too fast. A range chart, a 4-tick range chart simply means this. Every candle is exactly 4 ticks tall. It looks a little something like what you just saw when Michael had his charts. Now, to the naked eye, it might appear that some of these candles are different sizes than the other. Because of the wicks, that's just an optical illusion, if you will. Every one of those is exactly 4 ticks tall, and 4 is not a magic number. It is, but we had to pick a number, and so we decided with 4. 4 is good for the S&P because there's 4 ticks to a point. It gives you nice symmetry. In fact, earlier this week, I believe Michael kind of went through the list of the reasons that we chose to use the range chart to teach you the core methodology. My go-to chart for the alerts, both the Concierge and the Logic 247 alerts, my go-to chart is the 30-minute, okay? And there it is. The zones you see on the chart are last week's weekly trading zones. Our partners and passport holders get the fresh zones every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, and then I share the zones with the entire audience every Thursday. I think I've already maybe changed 1 or 2 of them so far this week to help make some kind of point, whatever point I was trying to make. But on the S&P last night at 6:40 p.m., I sent a message via our private Telegram channel to all CFRN traders to consider being long at 3140. 3140 is right here. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Now the alert actually went out, I said 6:40. So on this 30-minute chart, that's going to be the 1830 candle. So right there, that is when everybody got the word. Now that's for the Concierge. Okay, Logic we'll talk about in a bit. Now, John, is that you I hear in the background?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great, John. Welcome to the show. Folks, what we're going to do, we're going to pause right now. We're going to talk with John. As you know, Tony will be joining us if we can get our snafu with GoTo straightened out. She'll be with us top of the hour. And then once we finish our discussion and our Q&A session with Tony, I will continue with the recap, and I will go over each and every Concierge Trade Alert and the Logic 247. So, John, take it away.
Thank you. If you remember yesterday, in the last 2 days, I've been hollering about platinum. We're up $40 from our buy point at 900, 905. I think I said those 2 numbers to put buy stops on. And the gold, I said yesterday, when platinum's up 22, gold should be up 10. We're not up 10 yet, but we were up 8 today, so we're sort of catching up a bit. The silver as well. Look, it's we're not entirely out of the woods yet on the metals, but this is a pretty encouraging development today. The dollar is actually look, Jeffrey Gunlock, who's a very smart guy, Bond King investment legend, he's basically saying that the dollar is going to get weaker. He actually confirms that it topped out 3 years ago. It topped out at 103. We're at 97. So even though it feels like we're close to recent highs, we're actually off quite a bit. And the I can tell you that if we break 96.5, you know, if we close this year anywhere below about 96.5, preferably about 96, you are going to get a monumental sell signal on the dollar. I would tell you this: you'll get as big a sell signal on the dollar as we had on gold from the 1923 high.
Here's the dollar, John, on a daily chart.
Yeah, it's. I think that little update is wrong. You know, we're already down today. The pound is higher, the euros are higher, the Canadian's higher, everything's higher. The Aussie and the Canadian are starting to pick up here.
Now, what were you saying about the update here?
Is that what that looks like?
This is current.
Yeah, we're down today on the dollar. We're down right now, down by the lows. So something's wrong.
Well, then let me fix that. Go ahead, keep talking, and let me see what the problem is with the chart. Go ahead.
Well, I think we're down. Let me just check. Hang on a second. Yeah, we're down for sure. We're down.
All right, well, hang on. I'm going to open up a new.
We're actually at a point where we could gap down tomorrow. You know, with the election in the UK, it's quite possible there could be an up move in the currencies in Europe. Potential gap down. I think if we gap down tomorrow, you're going to see the start of a potential runaway move in gold. The J dust and the dust. I mean, listen, these things have rallies. They, you know, in the old days, you could, you know, if there was a little bit of a correction coming in gold, you could buy the dust and J dust and make some money. You really haven't been able to do that to any big extent recently, because every time the dust or J dust goes up, it gets knocked on the head. And we're at a point very similar to where I said months ago, where right at the start of the big rally in gold, when gold went from 1235 upwards, that the J dust and dust gapped down, and you know they went into a tailspin. You know, they went into a death spiral decline, and it looks like we might be ready to do that again. And there's the U.S. dollar right now. Looking pretty grim, actually, and potentially.
John, here's the correct daily chart on the dollar.
Right, it looks pretty grim, and it looks set for a possible gap down. And look, I'm just telling you, if we go below 96.5, 96 by the end of the year, I think it's like the nail in the coffin on the dollar. And the Jeffrey Gunlock.
30 minutes. Now I'm going to jump out to a weekly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. So that's the first thing. By the way, just to go off topic for a minute, off the markets. How many movies have we had over the years where the theme of the movie, I think a few Tom Cruise deals, and you had the Bourne Identity, where the CIA sort of goes rogue on its members. We've talked about Carter Page a lot in this whole saga, and it turns out that Carter Page was a CIA operative. I mean, can you believe it? And they did this to him. I mean, it's just like
that guy's bankrupt right now.
It's straight out of the movies.
He lost his home.
Yeah. It's straight out of the movies. They just went rogue on this guy, and nobody they never mentioned in the FISA court that he was a CIA, whatever he was.
Did you watch the testimony this morning?
No, I didn't. I haven't had time.
You'll want to catch a recap of that. I was really quite impressed with Lindsey Graham. I saw a different man than I've seen in the past, but you'll see it when you watch it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's really terrible. Look, at the moment, they can sort of say with their mouth closed that there was no spying, but the spying is going to come out sooner or later. Nobody knows for sure what Russia did or what they didn't do, but they certainly didn't do anything like what they're being set up to do. What do you think Putin would do 4-hour interview with the most left-wing guy on the face of the earth, Oliver Stone? And, back when all this happened, with the election and everything, it looks like all these agencies have concocted all this story. At the end of the day, if it really comes out that Russia did not hack these mails, and it was some kind of an inside job, and they got to WikiLeaks one way or another, not including the Russians. I mean, the world could really blow up big, and it's starting to look like that's going to happen. So, and there's unbelievable, Giuliani just came back from Ukraine. There's something going to come out in the next few days on the extent of corruption that's been going on with Ukraine. All sorts of funds going missing, U.S. aid going missing in the billions, $500 billion, stuff like that. So they're obviously scrambling to cover up. This is what this Trump impeachment is, just a big distraction from, something, this whole thing being exposed. And it's probably going to...
Who's the fellow, John, that makes elephants and the Statue of Liberty disappear? What's his name? You know who I'm talking about, the illusionist.
Blaine?
Well, I was thinking of another name. Somebody in the audience will throw it out there in a minute. But yeah, go ahead. It's the guy. He has the TV shows, and he's a master at illusion. And an illusionist's greatest tool is what you just said, distraction. So this whole impeachment mess, it's trying to get the American people's attention on something other than what's really going on here.
Yeah, and I just think it's going to get, look, after what, the Attorney General, he really said it like it is, the country's being just turned upside down with all this totally unnecessary, just unbelievable disruption of daily life and government, what they should be doing. So
David Copperfield, thank you, Arturo.
Yeah. So, they're not going to stop until they get to the bottom of this, I don't think, because it has to be, look, what I said a couple of days ago, this thing, there's no guarantee they're going to actually, even though they say they're going to impeach, there's no guarantee that when it comes to the vote that they'll get all the votes, number one. They could possibly do a censure, number two. Or if they do it, it could get voided, because if it's completely partisan, you got to have some way to stop that happening in the future. Otherwise, it's just going to go on and on into the future, and it's never going to do anybody any good. And I think that will probably get, something will happen to kind of have a minimum commitment on a bipartisan basis to really to move ahead with any kind of impeachment deal in the future. And actually, I think, look, Trump could have done without this. I think he was a little bit too a little bit of a bull in the china shop about it. Could have been a bit cooler, and couldn't have got himself in this mess, but they would have caught him on something else. So it was either this or something else. But the lesson is, I think, presidents are going to be super careful what they do in the future, no matter what. So it's just, that's the way it's going to be. So I think that I just want to say those things. I mean, this Carter Page thing, that's just shocking that they treated somebody. I mean, this guy's been, giving the government information for decades. I mean, he's an intelligence guy from the Navy. He knows all the people,
Yeah.
So to treat him that way and single him out. And by the way, all this about just spying on him, that's a lot of nonsense. It goes, one Pfizer warrant can spam 25,000 people. So they had some kind of a massive web. Everybody in his orbit, you know, if Carter Page talked to Bannon and Bannon talked to Trump, they can legitimately monitor those calls. And the trouble is, you know, it's like this thing with Schiff and the phone records. You know, how do we know this? You know, the rogue list. You know, there's all kinds of people who can listen in on calls without any Pfizer warrant. You know what I mean?
Well, all you need are the proper tools. I mean,
right. Well, look, you know, the fellow in Russia, you know, he what's his name?
Who again now?
The guy who had to go to Russia, the fellow who blew the whistle on all this.
You're not. Wait a minute. Which guy? Somebody in the audience. What's the name we're reaching for here? Snowden.
Snowden, right? Yeah.
You are true.
Yeah, he. Snowden. I mean, look. There's people can listen. These people like Snowden can listen in on anything, and there's an awful lot of that going on behind the scenes. I mean, you know, it's interesting. Carter Page. You know, there's a whole lot of these left-wing ex-CIA guys on CNN. You know, this guy was the real deal. He was giving genuine information on his, you know, on whatever he was doing, and to be treated that way is just terrible. It's absolutely diabolical, frankly, that the Pfizer court wasn't told that. And look at what they could have done. I mean, either, you know, once they get one of these Pfizer warrants, it kind of gives them carte blanche to basically do anything. And then they bring in all these, you know, overseas spies and everything. It looks like that's gonna blow up pretty soon. Anyway, just to do a quick recap on the markets. On the inflation side, copper almost hit 280, so it's really moving. It's been moving dramatically higher. Cotton, likewise, is creeping higher. Lumber is pulling back a little bit today, but it's been pretty strong lately. Platinum, almost on the high of the day, 940. Palladium touching all-time highs again, and the metals. So the metals are very tricky because there's people trying to hold them down. I think there was a report out the central banks have bought like 20% of all the gold available in the world recently. The market is probably tightening up with the way the dollar's looking. Boy, if we got down tomorrow, I think gold will start running higher. And you know, every single bottom we've seen. Look, if the gold recovers from this last smash down after the jobs report, I think it turns the gold very, very bullish, very, very bullish.
Here's a daily on gold, John.
Yeah, and look at it. I mean, that's just a classic. You know, this thing could gap higher through that 1480 there. You're going to see probably going to see a very significant up move in the metals here in the next few months. So and by the way, look, the other thing that's very important. This Jeffrey Gunlick was saying that, and there's other news reports that this September the 17th, when the Fed started injecting what looks like up to $1 trillion or even more into the system. Mm-hmm. That there was a kind of a long-term capital type mini meltdown or even a bigger deal threatening the financial system. So, and he's saying, look, the Fed is just committed to putting in whatever. They're not going to stop at anything to keep everything going. So, you know, he thinks that rates might go up a bit, which could probably be bullish for gold as well. You know, with this trillion that just got pushed into the market, caused a mini melt up in the market in the last couple of months. But it eventually gets into the gold, and that's so down the road, it's going to be a big stimulus behind the gold market.
I have something to share along those lines, and thank you, Donald, for this. John, you may have already seen this article on Zero Hedge. Let's see. Do you need to get that call?
Yeah, I'll be right.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share this article with you guys. And thanks for sharing it, Don. You know what? Now, let me do this. I don't want John to hear this because as soon as he comes back, going to share this couple paragraphs. It's important. I think you need to hear it. Then we're going to go to Tony. We did manage to overcome the snafu. She was able to get logged in. There is audio. Now, the other snafu, the videos that I was going to upload to play, I wasn't able to get them uploaded properly. We're still going to watch them. We're still going to listen to them. They're just a couple minutes each. So be ready for that. Let me, as we wait on John, we'll give him about 2 minutes. And if he gets tied up on that call, then we're just going to go straight to Tony. But we were talking S&P when John popped on. Concierge Trade Alert last night said, if you didn't get a screenshot, feel free to go ahead and grab it again real quick. Instead of being long, 3140. Yeah, Tony, your mic will be unmuted here in just a couple minutes, okay? So just hang tight. All right, so 3140 up to swing high at 3143 half, okay? So that's a 3.5 point move. Today's Wednesday. Normally I put the new, or I put the current weekly trading zones out for the entire audience, but because I want you to see what's going on here, we have a zone at 38.39. Now that's the one that I have already changed for this week. The trade to target above, as you can see, last week's zone is 45.46. This week, it's up at 56.57. So we're not done here, okay? We got a 3.5 point move. We got back below the trigger, and then we ran up to 31.43. So 3.5. Three and a half and 3. If you are just learning how to trade, especially if you're new to the world of futures, you've heard repeatedly, no doubt, in every forum, every chat room, the power of 2 points a day in the S&P 500. 2 points doesn't sound like a lot. The S&P pays $50 per point. There are 4 ticks to a point. So if price goes from 31.40 to 31.41, that's 4 ticks. That's 1 point. That pays $50. However, the S&P 500 E-mini is incredibly liquid. It's the most liquid contract out there. So you have the ability to trade as many contracts as you've earned the right to trade. And I'll explain that in more detail later. John, did I hear you? Okay, he's still on the call. All right, so we're going to go to Tony here in just a moment. Let me finish this up. We triggered. We get back below the trigger.
Oops. There.
Trigger
you hear
again.
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did John pop back in?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
His
All
mic
right.
is still open though.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to mute it in just a second because I want to be able to focus our attention on what Tony's going to share with us. The flip side of the S&P last night, 31. It's going to be about right here. Now, this is what we teach our traders to do. When the Concierge Trade Alerts come in each evening, go to the chart of the markets that you trade, put 2 lines in the sand, okay? This is the candle where the alerts came out. Price went down to the trigger. Okay, that's 1830 on the 10th. We drag this over a little bit further, okay? These lines represent important prices, important areas. You'll hear me say that a lot. If you're new to the show, if you've been around a while, you're probably sick of hearing it, but I'll never stop saying it because it's one of the most important principles upon which our methodology and strategy operates. So as price drops to 31.31, triggers, when it reaches the trigger, just as price has to make a decision, when it reaches a weekly trading zone, same thing applies to a trigger. Now we dropped to 29.5. So from 31 to 29.5, what is that, 1.5? Okay, that's nothing to get excited about. Okay, this 3.5 point move, this 3-point move, really not anything to get excited about. But if you are chasing the dragon, chasing those 2 points a day, this is important to you. This is important to understand, because those 2 points, if you don't understand how markets work, if you don't understand how to read what your chart is telling you, those 2 little points can be incredibly elusive. And that's what we do, is we help you tame the beast. We help you turn what too many traders refer to as the enemy, the market. They wake up each day ready to go do battle in the marketplace. Yeah, I'm going to kill it today. I'm going to smash it. A lot of negative energy there. We teach our traders not to look at the market as your enemy, but as your business partner. It is the very vehicle that allows you to reach through your monitor and access the wealth of the world. It's out there. It's on the other side of your monitor, and most folks will never touch it. And there are reasons why. Everything that we do is designed to help you understand those reasons why, because if you understand what the problem is, you can fix it. You take your car to a mechanic. Does he just jump in there and start fixing it? No, no, no. First he has to figure out, well, what's the problem? It won't start. Oh, okay. Well, that's a clue. Now, you know the deal. He's going to look at the electrical system and all these other things, and he's going to troubleshoot. He's going to find out, and then he's going to address the issue. If you're out there just swinging for the fences, clicking the mouse, well, you already know the type of results that you get from that, okay? So we're going to teach you something different. We're going to go to Tony now. Her time's very valuable. I don't want to leave her waiting. Michael, if you can mute John's microphone, I'll send him a text message at some point, and then if he wants to rejoin us after we finish talking to Tony, we'll certainly welcome him to do that. So let's get Tony's mic open. I'll take this chart down
I just
for
opened
now.
Tony's and
Okay.
muted John's.
Okay. Thank you, sir, very much.
Okay.
Tony.
Good morning.
Hey, hey. How are you?
I am terrific.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Michael is here with us. Valerie is here. And the audience is with us. Now, Tony spoke with us on Monday, it was, correct? Yes.
Correct.
Monday. I gave you guys a little bit of information on KaratBars, what it is, what it isn't. We're going to start out today with a disclaimer. Now, Tony, I ran into some obstacles myself getting things set up. Normally, I can upload videos to GoToWebinar, and they play inside of the platform. We're going to have to do it kind of an awkward way, but it's important that we do this. So, guys, if you don't have good audio, the video may be a little jittery, but it's mostly the audio that I want you to hear. So I'm going to go to that first video, and I'm going to play that one. I've got it loaded up in a browser somewhere. Is it right here or right here? I'll find it. Okay. I do have my dashboard open. I may have to log in again. Yes. Q. Okay. I never get that capture right the first time. CS. Go. Okay, back to my email. All right. Okay, let me drag this up into the field of view. And I'm going to have to pipe in the audio through my microphone. So if there's a few bumps and scratches along the way, guys, I don't know, blame it on GoTo. I don't know. It's their fault.
They did do an intraday update.
I know. That's just ridiculous.
It is. And it was a
But
big
you know
update.
what? It's always the middle of the day it's always the middle of the day somewhere.
Yeah,
so,
true.
But
true.
you would think, I'm sure that probably the bulk of their customer base is here in the U.S., but anyway. So I'm going to switch it out. And guys, Michael, Valerie, if there's video audio issues that make it unbearable and unwatchable, let me know via Telegram and we'll do something different.
Okay.
That's as much volume as I can get out of this thing. Can you guys hear it?
Oh, that's plenty.
Okay.
That was plenty. We can't hear it right now, but now we can't hear it.
Get after me. Can't tell me nothing. Because that's what happens sometimes, doesn't it? So I'm going to ask you to fold your arms the other way. That feels a bit uncomfortable and strange. Some of you still challenged doing that, Roy. I see that. You're not able to accomplish that. I see you over there. We'll work on that later. Look, we're paradigm shifting here. We're paradigm shifting. We're looking at the world in a new way. And it's not easy. But I'm going to say some things to you today, and you got to be open. Now, if you have questions, that's okay. If you have doubts, that too is okay. But make sure that you run the doubts to the end of the facts. Make sure you run your questions to the end of the question so you get them answered. There's a lot of cynicism in this world, and there's a lot of non-truths. Got it? All right. Well, let's go. So 6 years ago, that gentleman right there, who has the same name as me, Greg Sukaroff, he came to me in church and he showed me this little card with a gram of gold in it and said, "Do you like gold?" I said, "I like gold." I was buying gold. I was buying silver. He said, "How would you like to help the world save gold and earn a little bit of money doing it?" I watched every single video I could around the world. I said, "Who told you this? I want to meet with them." And hell, Neff. I went to see Hell Neff because I too was cynical and a disbeliever about some of these things that are going on out there. Well, 6 years later, I tell you, I could not be happier that I got involved. This is the best time of my life, and part of that is because of KaratBars. All right. Well, it's time for some education. In the beginning, there was gold, and gold was money, and gold was good. By the way, if you take the L out, that works really well too. Got it? Are you with me? All right. So, in the beginning, when people had gold and silver and they started accumulating it, something called a bank rose up. It didn't look quite like that, but they would go to the bank and put their gold and silver in the bank for safekeeping. And what they were given as a representation of the gold was something called a note. The guy would sign it, he'd put his stamp on it, and now you could go around and trade notes. And that's how it began. You were trading in notes. So now, gentlemen who've got the The note went and bought a cow. But Farmer John could always go back to where? And get what? The real money. Is the note the real money? It was not the real money. It was the representation of money. Okay? And so he went back and he got his coins. Now look, what happened? Something happened, folks. And you got to know about it. A couple of years ago, I had the privilege of interviewing G. Edward Griffin. He is noted for authoring the book called Jekyll Island. He was the first to come out in public to talk about what happened in 1913 on Jekyll Island, where some very wealthy and influential men gathered to design a strategy to create the Federal Reserve, a U.S. government institution. Aha! An educated audience. It is not a U.S. government institution. It is a private banking cartel set up by some wealthy families.
Okay, I'm going to stop that video right there. It was important for me, for you to see that, for us to have you see that, because I want you to go and watch the entire thing. I'm going to make sure that everyone has the link to get to this video. Tony, are you there?
I am here. The way Dr. Greg Gary explained how a friend at church introduced him to KaratBars is very, very significant. You just casually ask people, do you like gold? Most people do. And then when you show them a piece of the cash gold or the classic cards with a gram of gold, you've got their attention. And then from then on, it's a education process. First of all, I need to say I am not a financial planner or a financial advisor. I am an independent affiliate of KaratBars International. I consider myself a financial educator. I want people to have the information they need to make informed decisions to protect their financial futures and those of the people they love the most around them. And then they can spread the news to friends, etc. KaratBars International started way back in, I think, 2011. And the important thing is we try to educate people on the difference between currency and money. As Dr. Gary mentioned in the beginning, there was gold, and gold was money. It reminds me of saying, I read somewhere that J.P. Morgan in 1913 said, gold is money, everything else is credit.
Well said.
I was invited to watch a video, 25-minute video on YouTube called The Hidden Secrets of Money, Episode 1. I thought I knew the difference between, about money, because I used to teach financial seminars. But when I finished watching that video, I was stunned. I had to eat a lot of humble pie because there was a lot of truth about money that is hidden from the general public by the big banks and our governments. I was invited to attend a live presentation, and at the end, the presenter asked if anyone had questions or comments, and I put my hand up and I said, I used to teach financial seminars, and after watching that video, I had to eat humble pie because I had to admit how little truth I knew. And because I come from a large family of 17, I immediately forwarded that YouTube link to siblings because I wanted them to also know the truth. So that was my start in KaratBars, is that I got very passionate about this to help my family. As you can imagine, a family of 17, we grew up dirt poor is the common terminology. Happy, but poor. So I came into KaratBars with a motive to help as many people as I can. Harold Seit, the founder and visionary of KaratBars International, his mission statement is, my mission is to produce the highest quality gold available in the market, make it easily accessible to the masses of honest people around the world at a price point everyone can afford. My goal is to help millions find financial freedom from the current system of debt with KaratBars International. That resonated very, very strongly with me. Well, KaratBars in the last 8 years has now grown where it, I believe, is up to 145 countries have access to buying gold in very small increments, as little as 1/10 of a gram at a time. That has not been available widely for the general public before, so this is something new. Also, we are an affiliate marketing company like Amazon. We are not a multi-level marketing company that requires monthly purchases and annual renewal in order to earn on your team's monthly efforts. I like that. I also like the fact that we are a team. We really feel like a family. We're helping each other. So once you're in a position for life and your heirs, once you have built a KaratBar business or just invested, or let's say exchanged, we don't sell anything. We help people. We teach people how they can exchange their paper money for gold-backed assets, which is real money. I like that too, because I don't have to try to sell anyone. I just have to steer them to where they can get the knowledge they need to make wiser decisions. There's a really good presentation. The gold standard presentation is on our company dashboard that has wonderful slides. Dwayne, can you bring up some of those slides and I can explain them a little bit?
Absolutely, Tony. That is exactly what I'll do. Let me go to my dashboard. Now, folks, I just put a link into the chat box. If you are tuning in via YouTube or the live portion of the CFRN site, you won't have access to the chat box. You have to log in through the GoToWebinar to see that. However, I'm going to, during this broadcast, make that link available on the live page, so you'll be able to register. It's important that when you register that you click the Become an Affiliate, because what that does is it gives you the keys to the back office. It allows you to see everything that's going on. Everything's very transparent. It in no way obligates you to anything, and there is no cost whatsoever to become an affiliate. Again, what it does is it gives you access to all of the information so that you can make your own intelligent, well-informed decision as to whether or not this opportunity is right for you. Now, I've got my dashboard open. Tell me where you want to go.
Okay, on the dashboard, there's a link, Gold Standard Presentation.
Okay. Which one of the tabs is that one under?
No, it's right in the bottom underneath Um,
On the home page?
Your personal homepage.
Let's see. I've got your referral link, your personal shop link, your personal landing link. Would it be that one?
No. Did you sign in as an affiliate to your own personal KaratBars website?
I did. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now,
I've got a general tab, which, you know, has
Okay.
the dashboard, messages, etc. Profile, my gold.
okay, go right below all that,
Mm-hmm.
where all the data about your account. There should be 4 little or 5 or 6 little tabs underneath, and one says Gold Standard Presentation.
Okay, let me scroll down to that. I found it.
Okay.
So let me drag it up to the big screen. Open
That's
it
it.
up wide. There we go.
Okay. Keep going up slowly.
Okay.
Okay, as you see, KaratBars International was started in Stuttgart, Germany. Actually, now the numbers are over 730,000 affiliates around the world. Karat Coin Bank is a fully licensed crypto bank in Miami, Florida. It is the first licensed crypto bank in the world. Karat Coin Bank office has an office in Hong Kong. We have Karat Pay payment system office in Singapore. Customer support, Germany, Dubai, Slovenia, Romania. We have credit card service support in Mallorca, Spain, and IT offices in Germany, Bangladesh, and Romania. As you see, it is widely diversified in different countries. It's not all just in Germany. Now let's learn a little bit about the founder.
Okay. And folks, let me draw your attention to the screen for a moment in case you're just listening to the audio portion. Topics discussed on this program are the opinions of our host and guests, not CFRN. This program is not to be considered as an offer to buy or sell any security or futures contract. Trading is risky, investing is risky, not suitable for all people. You can lose all of your money and then some. Always consult with a licensed investment professional before making any investment decision. And always trade with a hard stop loss. Now, that applies more to active type trading that you will normally see and hear about on this radio program. What we're talking about today falls more under the investment category, but it's important that each person understand that with all types of trading and investing, there is risk involved, and it's not suitable for all people. So make sure you do consult with a licensed professional before making any decisions. Go ahead.
All right. First of all, we are not financial advisors, so we do not use the term investments. What we are doing is we are educating people to exchange fiat currency, which has no backing, to real money that has solid backing, like golden assets, etc. Anyway, our CEO is a senator of the Global Economic Network. He's a member of the Economic Council of Germany. He is known as the King of Gold.
We were just talking about the Bond King earlier, so now we have the Gold King. Okay.
Dr. Harold Seitz, at one of our conferences, he mentioned he loves Elvis Presley, the King of Rock. So he loved it when a magazine cover called him the King of Gold.
Ah, okay, that's where that came from. All right.
Yes. So that's our visionary leader, and what the package he's put together for us is unbelievable. Next slide, please.
Okay.
What he has created is, we call it the KB universe. And this doesn't show up very much, but we have everything. We have banks, we have contracts with gold mines to buy gold, to put in the vaults to back the currencies that they have, the cryptocurrencies they launched, the first one in 2018 and the second one this year. And we have payment, K merchants for retailers. We have, it's all put together beautifully, and it will be explained in some of the seminar and the videos we will send you to watch at your leisure. Next slide, please.
Okay. The gold mega market.
Yes. 1971 was a watershed year.
Tricky Dick, I believe they called him.
That's what I've heard. Anyways, next slide.
Okay. And folks, most of you, I'm sure because you follow this radio program, you're part of our CFRN family. Every Thursday, we have a segment of a broadcast that is devoted to gold, investment grade gold. Tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we'll go down that road. We'll talk a little bit about Richard Nixon. We'll talk about the gold standard. For now, back to you, Tony.
This is what most people don't understand. Inflation is actually a hidden tax. In 1998, a $20 bill in the States would buy a grocery cart full of groceries. Then 7, 8 years later, the same $20 would only buy you half a cart of groceries. 9 years later, you've got maybe 4 items for $20. The prices of goods and services go up as the value decreases of money. That's in everyday things. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Now, look at this. For you fellas, in 1920, you could have bought a Model T Ford for 1 kilo of gold, which was worth $645. Almost 100 years later, that same kilo of gold would have bought you a Ford truck for $40,000. So gold holds its value through all the markets up and down. That is why we, our company, KaratBars International, believes that gold helps to protect the assets and wealth of families. Next slide.
Okay.
You see, what you're seeing here are what we call classic gold cards. This one, the first one on the left lower corner, has 6 grams of gold embedded in a credit card. It's the size of a credit card, and it feels like a credit card, and it fits in your wallet beautifully. Now, a gram of gold, I think, is around $50 today, US, roughly.
We ran those calculations, Tony, the other day. I think we came up at Monday's spot price on gold. I think we were right around $5.20 for 1/10 of a gram, which would be one of these. And this is real physical gold embedded on these cards.
That's a whole gram. That's 6 grams there.
Oh, we've got six grams
6
on here.
grams there. That's worth over $300 US dollars in your wallet. The one behind it has 3 grams. So that's about $150. And the one behind it is only 1 gram. And so these are transactable. You can take any of these into a bullion dealer. They will test the purity of the gold. And I've been told that they say it is the purest gold they have ever tested. And they will give you a spot price, usually right on. For any KaratBar gold. The bullion dealers love it. So there are different specialty cards you can order. You'll see that all on the dashboard on the product section. Next one.
Okay.
Next slide, please.
Here we go. There we go.
These are some of the other forms of cash gold. The bills there. The first one is 1/10 of a gram. The second one has 2/10, 4/10, and 6/10. These are the size of a normal dollar bill, slips into your wallet beautifully. Next
Now,
one.
whoever thought about slipping gold into your wallet? And this is the time has come for this. We've all heard that we need gold. We've got to store away some gold. Many of us have heard that it is the only real money. It's certainly the money that's most talked about from a biblical perspective. But when the day comes that you have to reach into that stash, if you pull out a Krugerrand, or if you pull out a gold bar, it might be difficult to exchange that for a loaf of bread or a jug of milk. This is a paradigm shift. This changes everything.
Just as Dr. Greg Gary mentioned, this is a huge paradigm shift. Next slide, please.
Okay.
KaratPay. There's Apple Pay and all those. We have KaratPay for people to be able to use their cash gold to purchase things online. So that's part of the KB universe. Next slide, please.
Okay. KaratPay.
See, there it explains it. I'm not much of a techie, as Michael and you know, so I don't totally understand how that works with cell phones. I'm just learning to use a cell phone myself. But I can see this for those that are really in the techie environment. This would be very easy for them to use their cash gold.
You know, Tony, and if we can pause here for 1 second, what Tony just said, folks, is very important. Typically, when you go to one of these types of presentations about opportunities, there's usually a very slick, well-polished, heavily rehearsed salesman with a great presentation to daze and amaze you and convince you to do something that maybe when you come out from under the ether, you wish you hadn't have done. Tony is the polar opposite of that. She's a person who cares about people. She has a background in the financial services industry. She's done her own research. She's done her own due diligence. She is very excited about this opportunity, and she's taking the time today to come and share with each and every one of us what she has learned so far. So you can relax, you can put your wallet away. At the end, there will not be you can't refuse it kind of an offer with only 3 left and the clock's ticking. That's not what we're about. If you know CFRN, you know that's not what we're about, period. And that's certainly not what Tony's about. She's simply here to share with you today, not as a representative of the company per se, but as someone who genuinely cares about other people and believes that this is an opportunity that you should, starting today, starting right now, when you click that link and get your own gold savings account and become an affiliate, now you have the keys to the back office. You can begin your own journey of due diligence and discovery to determine if this is something that's right for you, for your family, and for your future. Please continue, Tony.
I should mention in the back office under the general tab in your dashboard, once you have signed up for free, there are downloads. There's a link for downloads, and there's many documents available in numerous languages. I'm not sure if it's 10 or 12, 14 different languages that our documents are available. And this presentation can also be downloaded from that back office. See, KaratPay is an online platform designed by Karat Gold and KaratBars International for the purpose of cash gold transactions. They've got everything in place beautifully, smoothly. Next slide, please.
They have done a very nice job putting more. And now you first made me aware of this opportunity. I don't know, how long has it been? Time certainly flies. Has it been 6 months?
Well, I sent you a one-page invitation to look at some of the videos back in April.
Okay.
And then I came knocking on your door at the beginning of July.
You did. Tony was so excited about this opportunity. After doing her own due diligence, she showed up on my doorstep. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, she lives in Canada. I'm in Phoenix. I think we both had a surprised look on our face when I opened the door. But I'm so glad that she came, and I'm so glad that she took the time to explain this to me, not so that she could sell me something, but so that she could make sure I had the same information she had so that I could make the decision that was right for me.
I told you, do your due diligence. Take the time necessary.
That's exactly what you said.
Now, imagine cash gold exchange machines. I think there are a number that have been set up in the last few weeks around the world where if you own cryptocurrencies already, Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and you have a QR code, you can use your QR code with the cash gold exchange machine and get yourself 1 gram of gold or 10 of those 1/10 of a gram notes. These will be available. It's like the Visa cards. When they came out in the mid-50s, I believe, it took 2 years before the general public started using them and felt comfortable with them. So these cash gold machines are now out. There aren't too many yet, but they will become very commonplace, I believe, in the next few years as more and more people are taking advantage of getting gold to hold in their homes for emergencies.
That's the gold side of the equation, and the crypto side of the equation. I've shared this with our audience previously on a number of occasions. I was at the local ranch market. That's a grocery chain here in the Southwest that caters primarily to the Hispanic Latino community. And I was with my daughter, and it was Wednesday, and Wednesday they cook chickens outdoors on the big grill. And so we used to go down and partake. The man knows how to cook chicken. As I'm walking past this machine up by the registers, it's called coin something. It's where you go with your piggy bank and you dump the contents of your piggy bank into the little hopper. And so you don't have to get your hands dirty. It counts your coins and then spits out a little receipt that you take to the cashier. The cashier will give you money you can fold and put in your pocket. It's a great idea. They charge, some small percentage for their service. This machine does. But what caught my eye as I was walking past the machine that day was it flashed on the screen, buy Bitcoin here. I was like, wait a minute, that's not even, that's a joke. Because so I stopped, I got out my money, I went through the process, I did the deal, and that was a real turning point for me as far as just personally accepting that this isn't a clever idea. And I'm speaking of crypto now. I'm not speaking of KaratBars, the whole concept of cryptocurrency, since I first brought Bitcoin to our audience when it was trading around a couple pennies, I think it was, up until this point, we've seen so much happen. But that day, when I walked into a grocery store and saw a machine that would sell me Bitcoin, I realized then that it wasn't just a great idea. It wasn't something on the horizon. It wasn't something that might someday become an actual reality. It is right here, right now. Now, there's a big difference between what we're talking about today, KaratBars, KBC, KCB, and Bitcoin, and we'll touch on that, of course, before we finish up today. But friends, if you wondered if Bitcoin is gonna become a thing, it's already a thing. It's no longer, you no longer see it through your windshield, but through your rearview mirror. Go ahead.
Our machines, our cash gold exchange machines, do not sell. We exchange. It's an exchange medium. Someone that has Bitcoin can exchange a portion of their Bitcoin to get some cash gold for themselves. Because Bitcoin is around, what, $10,000 now per coin?
Well, actually, Tony, we're coming out of the crypto winter. Let me bring up a chart just real quick, and I will tell you exactly what we're trading at today. Hang on. BTC, USD, Bitcoin, US dollar. Current price $7,183.73. Now that's on a daily chart. Let me just put it on a monthly. The all-time historic high in Bitcoin was $19,666. After that peak, which was Christmas 2 years ago, we saw Bitcoin retrace, and I'll talk about those Fibonacci percentages with you regarding Bitcoin on tomorrow's show. But you can see from the chart I have up this tremendous pullback, the rally. We're in another pullback right now. I see 10,000 as a real important point on this chart, and I've talked about this on the radio for some time. Once we get back above 10,000 and hold the pullback. Now, on this move, we didn't hold. We did about from this swing low to this swing high. We've got probably a 50 to 62% Fibonacci retracement. This next upswing, personal opinion, that's all this is, I believe we hold 10, that when we take out this swing high at 14 and then pull back to 10, that's how markets work, by the way, that's when we begin our run to the all-time historic high and beyond. So,
Dwayne, remember Bitcoin came out at 10 cents a piece. How many of you out there missed buying Bitcoin? If you had just invested $1,000 in Bitcoin at 10 cents a piece.
We're all painfully aware of the math behind that equation.
Exactly. Well, KaratBars is fairly new in the crypto space since 2018. And because it is backed, our coins will always be able to be exchanged for gold, cash gold, always. So we have real crypto money in a sense, because that's the difference between KaratBars International and their KB Universe and Bitcoin, is that we have a whole team of businesses interlocking, supporting, all backed and supported by gold. Next one, please. Next
All
slide.
right. Okay.
What is a blockchain? Well, we know blockchain projects are based on decentralized structure. it's a complete and immutable book of accounts or a ledger. No central authority can manipulate the system.
There's no home office, there's no main server, there's no one person in charge. No one, not even the government, has the power to shut it down. They can throw roadblocks in the path, but the very nature of how blockchain exists, it's again a paradigm shift. It's a game changer. Go ahead.
Also, blockchain gives us privacy when we do transactions, and the cost or the fees are much, much lower than normal bank fees or other wire transferring fees like Western Union, etc. Next slide, please.
There we go. I see some of your questions coming in, guys, and we will cover all of those, so stay with us. Go ahead.
KBC was the first cryptocurrency coin, and it stands for a complete paradigm shift because it is backed by gold. The Karat Gold coin raised over 100 million to become one of the largest ICOs in history. And I was in Las Vegas on July 4th, where people who had purchased KBCs were able to exchange some of their KBC coins for a gram of gold, cash gold.
That's what they refer to as Gold Freedom Day? Is that,
yes.
Is that what it was called? Okay.
Yes, and since I was so close to Phoenix, I just popped down.
Yes, you did.
And I had a lovely visit with you and your lovely wife, Anne Marie.
Yeah, it's interesting how God weaves this tapestry we call life. I knew you as a CFRN partner, yet I didn't really know you. Then along comes this crazy little thing called KaratBars, which gets your attention. And then the next thing I know, here you are at my doorstep, not only to share this opportunity with me, but to get to know me. And I must say that you and my wife have just become great friends. Aside from any type of trading or investment or gold or crypto, a real relationship. You know, I wrote about
family.
this.
We're family.
Yes, exactly. And I wrote about this last week somewhere, I forget, but I talked about we had a common meal. We do a thing at our church called the common meal, where every week or couple weeks, someone in the church opens up their home to the entire congregation. We have a smaller church, so it's doable. And there's no agenda. There's no curriculum. We simply show up at that house, we break bread, and we fellowship. The early church, long before there was stained glass and golden arches and semi-creepy statues, that's how the church worked. They met in each other's homes. They did life together. And now, in a round the mountain kind of way, here you and I, my wife and my kids, we're doing life together.
That's right. I got there deliberately when I knew you were on your radio show, because I wanted to visit with Anne Marie for 2 hours.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Because we have a lot in common as far as our passion for natural health, natural healing. So
and
we
you
have
speak her language in a way that, I mean, we've been together, my wife and I, almost 40 years, and I respect all of her knowledge about, natural healing. She's been in that field for a long, long time, but I'm not nearly as fluent as you are. And to see you guys sit and talk and share that common bond, I thought that was pretty cool.
And even when you were finished your radio show and you came out and gave me a big hug, we sat and visited for 2 hours almost before I even brought up the subject of KaratBars.
Yes, that is a true story.
I was connecting on a family level, on a spiritual level as well, because you know where my heart is as well in that. And then when I pulled out the cash gold bill and passed it to you so you could rub your fingers on that little 1/10 of a gram of gold, I think that,
You know, and I didn't expect that, and to hold it in my hand and to, well, you know, I have a pretty good imagination, and the wheels really started to turn. Some were a little rusty, you could hear them turning, but the possibilities, the doorways that opens, I hate to keep using the same term, paradigm shift and game changer, but sometimes I'm at a loss for words, and I don't know what else to say or how else to define it. But hey, it is what it is. We've got coming up here in 2 minutes the Fed announcement. The world's been waiting for this. We're going to continue with what we're doing, but as the news comes out, as it scrolls across my screen, guys, we don't expect the Fed to raise interest rates. We don't expect them to lower. We really won't know what the Fed's thinking until a half hour from now when the press conference happens and there's a Q&A session. But just for anyone who's in a trade right now, you know we do not recommend trading ahead of economic reports, especially one the size of a Fed announcement. So for now, Tony, it's back to you.
okay, let's go to the next slide. We're going to run out of time.
I've got time for you.
Gold Standard's vision missions to establish the Karat Coin Bank world ecosystem, catering the needs of the fully blockchain-based and crypto-oriented banking finance system. We are the first blockchain-based payment system centered around real assets. We have our own KaratBit exchange. That opened, I think, last year. Its own cryptocurrency exchange. We are developing more efficient extraction of gold, etc. I think for the first couple of years, KaratBars International is a bullion dealer. They trade over 1,200 kilos of gold out of Hong Kong every day. That's their. But when Harold Seitz decided to bring in the gold, cash gold, so what they did, they don't own the mines. They have contracts with some of the mines, the first 3 or 4 mines, to have the gold supplied so they can be refined to the 99.99% purity. The London Bullion Market Association standards of purity. Same quality that the banks, the mints, have as well. Transaction fees are lower than our competitors, etc.
Now we're talking Visa, MasterCard, etc.
I'm not sure if they're actually talking about small pieces of gold you can buy online.
I'm talking about the transaction fees. Like
okay.
When a retailer, when they accept your credit card, they pay a percentage of fee for the convenience of allowing you to use your credit card in their store, their restaurant. And I do believe that these fees are reported to be
5 or
less.
2 to 6% for credit cards. We'll talk about the K merchant later.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep going. The KCB is the second coin that KaratBars International has launched. It is in the pre-sale for just 4 more days. And then it will be...
This thing's really coming down to the wire. I had no idea there's only 4 weeks left.
It is.
Okay, the coin that's currently trading is it KCB or KBC?
KBC is trading. It's been on the KaratBit exchange for a year. This one will be, I think, they're talking about a hard fork at the end of this year where the two coins will be merged. And it will still be called the Karat KBC because that one is already recognized in the market. What I love, remember I mentioned that some of the affiliates that had KBCs were able to exchange 100 KBCs for a gram of gold. Well, till January 1st, 75 of our KBC coins will be able to be exchanged for a gram of gold. Now, the KBCs came out for about half a cent a piece. Now, you figure out if a gram of gold is about 51 US, that's quite a nice return. Okay.
It is. I'm trying to get to one of the exchanges. Hang on. One of the big crypto.
Coin market cap?
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Thank you. Coin market cap. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Okay, coin market cap. And so it lists the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization. Do you have any idea where KCB is on the list?
I'm not sure.
All right, let's look.
I know it has been somewhere around 69th. I'm not sure.
Is it KCB or K? What am I looking for? KBC?
KBC. Karat Bank Coin.
There it is. There it is right there. Okay. Okay, dope. Karat gold coin, 0.029146 US dollars. It's ranked number 208 on the list. Has a market cap of $109 million. In the last 24 hours, there's been volume of $2,433,000. Circulating supply, 3.7 billion. The total supply is 12 billion. You can see that here at the bottom. Okay.
Now, the people that bought their Karat KBCs for half a cent at almost 3 cents, that's almost 6 times what they got their original coins. So it's a nice return for 1 year.
It is. It is. Okay. Past performance is no promise of future results.
No, it's not. But we know gold will hold its value. It won't totally disappear.
Over time, gold has gone up, period.
Right. Next coin. Next.
There are, of course, pullbacks along the way, as with everything.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
See, this is a little bit more
if there are any slides that, I know you mentioned earlier that there were some slides that didn't really have anything specific to say about. So if we come across a slide that you want to skip, just let me know.
Let's just skip this one.
Okay.
Because I want to talk, I want to get to the phones, etc. Okay, here's some of the milestones. Can you imagine a super smart phone with voice over blockchain for complete unhackability? The company has developed and has launched and sold a smartphone that is like nothing else on the market. And it won't be sold through the stores. It will only be sold through the company and its affiliate base. Because of this
do you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
I was going to say this smartphone, because of the blockchain technology in it, apparently it will be unhackable. So it'll be your bank. You will be able to do all your banking. You'll be able to transfer data of any kind safely anywhere very quickly at a very low fee. And the phone, because of the blockchain technology. The company will be charging, I think, $6 a month, and you will need to get a SIM card for a local carrier as well.
Okay. Okay.
But,
That's kind of where my question was going is, let's say I have service currently with AT&T or T-Mobile. Will I be able to use that service on this
yes, you
on
can
this blockchain phone? Oh,
yes,
okay.
you can.
So I would go to AT&T to get my SIM card. Is that how that, or do I go to the company to get the SIM card?
You would go to AT&T, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. See, on July 4th, Gold Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the earthquake happened, somewhere around Palm Spring, wasn't it? Because
I don't know.
yes, some of the leaders were up in the 57th floor of a hotel, and the hotel started really swaying way up high because of that second earthquake in the evening.
Oh.
I wasn't there in the meeting, and some of my friends asked me, well, did you feel it? Did you feel it? And I said, what are you talking about? The earthquake last night. And I said, no. Then I realized I'd been in a helicopter on a tour of the Grand Canyon. That's why I didn't feel the earthquake.
That's why you didn't feel it. Okay. Okay. Now, I see on October 1st, that lists the date for the hard fork. That was postponed, pushed forward, and you say that's coming up now in...
Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year.
I have heard, yes.
Okay. Do you know what the reason was as to why the date was changed?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I love an honest answer.
And January 1st, Gold New Year. The main net coin, which will be the two coins put together, which will be called still the KBC, will be able to be exchanged 75 coins for 1 gram of gold. How can a company guarantee this? Well, the HSBC Bank has guaranteed it, as well as an insurance company from Europe, from France, Allianz Insurance or something like that.
Okay.
Because they have visited the gold vaults, and they have seen the gold in the vaults, and they know there's more gold coming in every day. So that's how we can guarantee that 75 coins for 1 gram of gold will be able to be exchanged January 1st and onward. Next.
Okay.
Next slide.
And yeah, here we go. KaratBit.
This is the exchange that we have to facilitate exchanging cash gold for fiat currencies, Karat gold coin, all our products. And so it's nice that we have our own exchange as well. That's part of the KB universe. Next slide, please.
Yeah, there's an entire ecosystem. And so that is initially what it took me a minute to get my brain kind of wrapped around, that it's not just buying gold and hoarding it away. It's not just getting involved with cryptocurrency. It's all the pieces of the pie brought together in one place. And I may be wrong, but I don't know of anyone else that has done this. So it is, I got a new word, groundbreaking. How about that?
It is. Bitcoin was the spearhead, the tip of the spear for cryptocurrencies. KaratBars International's whole ecosystem, we are so far ahead of everyone else. Like Russia is talking about coming out with their own cryptocurrency backed with some gold. China has been buying up and hoarding as much gold as they can. They're also talking of needing to get back to a gold standard. So
here in Arizona and in many other states, municipalities, you can now pay certain taxes online with cryptocurrency.
I was told there's over 20 states that accept cryptocurrencies for some of their services. Payments can be made in cryptocurrency. Next slide, please.
It's not coming. It's already here.
Yes. So that is the basic little presentation, but there is more that we want to show you.
Now, folks, I'm putting in, so those of you who have access to the chat box, I'm putting in once again the link that you need to register as an affiliate. Okay, there we go. So everyone who has access to the chat box through GoToWebinar, it's there, just posted it. And if you are logged in through one of the avenues that doesn't allow you to access the chat box, do this, jot down this phone number, 949-42-EMINI, 949-423-6464, or send an email to support@cfrn.net. We'll make sure you get the link. Register as an affiliate, not as a customer, because registering as an affiliate, there's no obligation, costs you nothing, but it gives you full access to the back office. So all of the things that we've talked about today, all of the things that you're seeing on this slideshow presentation, you'll be able to roll up your sleeves, get in there, sift through it, sort it, ask questions to people at the company who, certainly know more about this than I do, and maybe even more than Tony knows. Ask the hard questions and get the answer that you want. And if you can't get the answer that you want, or if the answer to the question doesn't sit right with you, well, that's the whole purpose of doing your own due diligence, so that you can determine, so that you can make an intelligent, well-informed decision whether or not this is right for you.
One more thing, Dwayne, I forgot to mention. Can you put something, a website, goldstandardwebinar.com?
I can.
That is a wonderful, up-to-date presentation by one of our top affiliates from Vancouver, BC.
Gold Standard Webinar.
Webinar.com.
There we go.
People can sign in for free, to register for free to watch. It talks about the whole, Nitsa has a way of presenting the whole ecosystem uniquely. She talks about the K1. I hope you have time to show a short video about the phone.
I'll be happy to, sure.
And we'll show a short video about, imagine a laptop that's run on blockchain as well. That will be unhackable. That will be totally private. That will be virus proof. And it's very slender, very smart looking. The laptop won't be available to be shipped probably till next spring, April, May. But they are taking pre-orders right now for the laptop as well.
For those of you that don't have access to the chat box to copy and paste the link, I'm putting it up here just on Notepad. Just, key this in, go to that link. I'll leave it up for just a second, and I will repost it one more time in the GoToWebinar panel. Stand by. There we go. Okay, now let me. Now I've got a couple questions. Do you want to watch the video first, or do you want the questions?
Let's go through the information. Can you put up that Impulse K1 phone video, but turn it off at 5 minutes or so? That
sure
explains the technology behind the
Is
phone.
that link in the email that you sent me?
Yes, it is in my notes.
Oh, it's in the notes. Okay, I got the notes open right here. So let me go find it.
It's number I.
Number I. I see it.
Or letter I.
Uh-huh, got it. Okay, so I'm going to open that. We'll get some of this stuff down. Well, let's see what happened with the Fed real quick. S&P. Okay, the Fed announcement came out. There was no change in interest rates. Everything between the two lines in the sand is the market making up its mind. We're starting to poke our head up above that long trigger again. So we're still gonna go through the recap. We're still gonna talk about the alerts from last night. Once we finish talking with Tony. I'm just trying to get this link open. I'm looking at it. Do you want to open this link? Why, yes, I do. Okay, there we go. All right, now you say we want to go about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right? Okay. All right, and
then there's a short minute of the 2-minute one of the laptop.
Okay.
After.
If you write anything on your computer, you need to get grounded.
I write pretty much all day.
Introducing the Impulse K1 smartphone, a brand new smartphone designed by CryptoData and produced by KaratBars International. This unique smartphone is innovative and will change the meaning of regular smartphones because all users must be free to choose to speak, to communicate, and pay. This smartphone was created to solve the biggest problems in communication, which are privacy, security, the ability to communicate anywhere and from anywhere in the world without incurring any roaming fees at all. 5 layers of security options include fingerprint, PIN number, Face ID, password, and WormGuard. The technology, Voice over Blockchain Protocol, patented by CryptoData and KaratBars International. There is no other company involved in this project. This technology gives users fully encrypted communication. All information, text, voice, media, and documents are sent via the blockchain. Voice over Blockchain Protocol is decentralized communication and eliminates third parties. It is a secured algorithm which creates a peer-to-peer per channel with end-to-end encryption. Technology includes matrix identity, where every user can create an infinite number of crypto wallets. Every wallet can be transformed into a phone number and can be assigned with an identity. Infinite storage. All information, media, photos, documents are stored, encrypted in the blockchain. And because we can create infinite blockchains, all users can store infinite information and access it everywhere and anytime. EWTL, Electronic Warfare Transmitted Location. To protect all users, Location Service uses a special military technology to share and reveal locations. Everything is transmitted, encrypted, and location is revealed only to the user you wish to communicate with. WormGuard. This technology creates a protection shield around the private key to secure users against theft, lost, or unwanted access. This security option encrypts all devices to which the key is connected and activated. Only the owner can decrypt them. R-Link, Recovery Link. This option was created to help users in case of a lost phone or key. This technology allows the user to recover all their information from blockchain from where they can configure another private key. Software. CryptoData OS is secured Android and offers a user-friendly interface. IMP B Cloud is a security portal which allows other developers to create apps that are compatible with iOS and Android. All apps will be tested and verified by the crypto data team to keep and improve user security. Regular applications from iOS and Android will be available to install on the Impulse K1 smartphone. And all applications that require permission from users are not the responsibility of crypto data and therefore cannot guarantee your privacy and security. Impulse K1 golden applications can be used only on Impulse K1 smartphones. Every application is tested and verified to protect users' privacy and security. All other applications available on iOS and Android and regular smartphone can be installed on the Impulse K1. Cost, $6 per month per active identity. Payment in KBC or Bitcoin, Ethereum, XMR, Dash, IMP. They are automatically transformed in the market into KBC to facilitate the subscription to KBC. Data packs are encrypted with a special technology and sent in a unique way to ensure that the user is enjoying their high-speed transfer without paying too much data. For example, sending an encrypted video call, let's say 24/7 over a full 30-day period, will only be around 3 gigs of data. The average user will spend between 0.2 gigs and 0.5 gigs of data monthly. More information available at www.impulse.technology.
I think that's enough. That's
so how can we
okay.
Acquire?
That's enough.
All right.
Because these prices here are not the specials available today.
Okay. Very good.
All right. And then we have a little video about the laptop. It's only about 2 minutes long.
Okay.
It's the next one in my notes.
All right. This is a video of the actual mine, one of the mines.
Okay, WIM, Voice over Blockchain Protocol Laptop. That's the J in my notes.
Now, do you want me to play J or K?
J first.
J first. Okay.
That is to do with the WIM, the laptop.
Okay.
When a company has a product that is first to market with a new technology, does that not give them a huge edge over competition?
Yeah, I would certainly think so.
Do you think other phone companies will be trying to get licenses to put voice over blockchain into their phones and paying royalties to the company in order to do that?
When you said royalty, Mr. Wonderful's ears, whoever he is, just perked up because that guy loves royalty deals. You know what I'm talking about, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Here we go.
Oh. I saw one of these in Amsterdam. How many businesses do you think will want those phones and computers to protect the privacy of their transactions and communications?
Well, off the top of my head, I would say probably most of them.
So we have a huge market, being the first to the market with this unique technology. Okay, the last video is about,
Is this the one that I have loaded up here? Is this the right one?
no, let me see. This
I'll get the right one.
Video,
Yes.
Brazilian gold mine.
This is the right one. And you know what? I'll hold this thought until we watch this. Okay.
And now we will go down into the ground to the mine where they explore the stones. This will be a tricky thing to get down on a steel rope, 100 meters into the ground, and then you see me again. Stay safe.
Thomas, are you live?
I'm fine. One right.
Be prepared to be amazed.
Okay, guys. Here we are. Welcome to the rabbit hole. We are now 100 meters. 100 meters under the Earth's surface. And this is the mine. It's about 2 meters wide. As you see, 2 meters high. Don't want people to make it get hot. Don't want to be too tall for that shot. God save. It's good to be communication manager. And not mining manager. Hello. Hi, how are you? Bon dia. So, you see now we've got 2 tunnels, one to the left and one to the right. This one is specially made. This will be connected with the other drilling hole. We have 2 holes in here, and now we go down there, this one. And now look at this place here. Here we have the quartz, you see that? And as well the embedded gold, the shining thing here, especially here, this one, you can see that? That's the gold in it. So as you heard from Alvaro upstairs, there is a high density of gold over here as well. Come over to the left. Yes, here you see the vein. Okay, that's the way we are working on. As well over here, you can see it as well in the stone. Everywhere precious metal. And it's not just precious metal, there's a lot more in here. Woo! Here we go. Back on Earth. What an amazing trip, KaratBars family. I'm feeling like a miner. It was amazing to go down there for you. Jesus. Not you.
Wasn't that amazing seeing the actual gold embedded?
I got to tell you something. I don't know about anybody else in the audience. This is the first time I've watched this video through, but I felt claustrophobic. Just seeing that guy and realizing how far did he say he was down? 100 meters? Was that?
Yes.
I mean, now these people, not just these people, but people who mine gold all over the world and have, since time began, they put themselves in that kind of jeopardy so that you and I can go to dinner in our gold cufflinks. That blows my mind. It really does. And
one thing I should
go on.
mention.
Do you want to watch the rest of this, or?
No, that's fine. I just wanted to show the richness of the gold in the quartz. This is a mine that the company has entered into a joint venture. They are also will be opening a bank in Brazil on the 15th. So it's again another source where this time the gold will be, I think, owned by us. Before that, the company was buying gold from a third party, from the mines in Madagascar and Guinea, etc. They were buying gold from a third party. So those were the videos. This is what I wanted to cover. So if you want to throw some of the questions at me, if I can't answer them, I will say I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I'll be quite honest. I'm not going to try to fudge.
Very good. No, we certainly appreciate that. And let me clarify a couple things here, guys. I think this is important. If you register as an affiliate using this link, which is available in the chat box, and it's on Twitter and it's on Facebook, if you register, will I benefit financially? Well, the answer to that is, I hope so. Will Tony benefit financially? We hope so. Once you register and become an affiliate and you share your affiliate link with other people, will you benefit financially? We hope so.
Yes.
Now, this is built on a lot more than hope. You've seen a lot of evidence today. It's a real product. It really does exist. But, you know, step back in time a decade, and if you tried to explain to somebody about this thing called Bitcoin, you would have been laughed out of the room, whatever room you happen to be in. But we see what has happened. There were people who tune into CFRN every day who had an opportunity to get their hands on Bitcoin when it was trading around a dime, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us did not. Am I saying that this is the next Bitcoin? I am not. All I know is that it is an opportunity that certainly has my interest, so much so that my wife and I, we are personally involved. We have taken a position, okay? We've made a financial commitment to see exactly what is on the other side of this opportunity. We're not pitching you today to get you to do anything other than register for free as an affiliate, take a look, then make a decision what's right for you. That look is 100% free. There is no obligation. Your name, your email address will never be sold to anyone. You're safe, okay?
Also, may I mention, if they have signed up for free but choose not to take action now, but in a year's time they keep watching the company and they decide to become active as an affiliate, they might find that they may have 100 teammates below them.
That's okay. Now let's qualify that. So if they register, if they share the link and then do absolutely nothing, the downline, as it's called, will continue to grow. So it doesn't expire. You don't get washed out at some point. Is that okay? No. I want to make sure I understand that correctly. I mean, I plan to be active. I'm currently doing something, but okay. So
and when someone buys a package, if you refer, like I referred Dwayne, there's a 10%, even if you come in at the very lowest level, which is 150 euros. And we have packages that go all the way up to 1 million euros. That's right. We have something for every budget. So
should we take a, you want me to scroll through a couple of those? I mean, just so people have an idea what we're talking about here. Product purchase, classic products, special, cash goal. Well, you know, this will address one of the questions. Someone uses that referral link. They register for free. What's the next step? What do I do now?
If they decide they want to buy a package, there are tutorials on the dashboard. There's also tutorials on the KaratBars International official YouTube channel.
Okay.
So if they cannot...
Hello and welcome to our KaratBars.
So let me back up to the link I just clicked. Where'd that link go?
KaratBars International official channel on YouTube. KaratBars.
Let's do it that way. Official YouTube channel.
KaratBars International.
Okay. So that would be here. I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat box. And there's just there's a lot of videos here that you can have a look at. So let me paste that in the chat box.
There's also a lot of other video channels, YouTube channels from some of the top leaders in the company that have been with the company 7, 8, 5 years that you can learn a lot from. So there's a lot of information available.
Most of the questions that came in, Tony, basically, I think we've answered most of them. The most common, of course, is, you know, how do I get started? So someone registers, they get the free affiliate account.
And you will be notified. Anne-Marie will be notified that someone has signed in. Now, what I would like you to do, if you would forward me the emails to me, I will contact them if they wish. And
that's important to note. If you want to be contacted, then Tony will contact you. If you don't want to be contacted, this isn't some elaborate way of just getting your email address so that we can call you up and try to sell you something. Not at all.
And if you want to give my KaratBars email for people to email me directly, but there's, you know, say, I heard you on CFRN, I will still make sure they sign up under you, but I will do my best to answer their questions.
Absolutely. Okay, let's give them that email address. Go ahead.
KBMARANTO
KBMaranto
@gmail.com. We also recommend that everyone gets a separate email just for their KaratBars business. If they're like me, I probably get 150 plus emails a day in my regular email. So I have a separate email just for KaratBars. I recommend that set up right away. And I should mention your username is for life. You cannot change it, so choose it carefully.
Okay.
Maranto is my username for KaratBars.
Okay, so folks, there's the address that you can register for your free account. There's an email address. You can communicate directly with Tony. On the company website, of course, you'll see all the official company contact information, etc.
That's correct.
Keep in mind the difference in time. They're in Stuttgart.
9 hours from the Pacific coast.
9 hours from Pacific. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
one other thing I need to mention.
Mm-hmm.
If you come in just with the €150 package,
Mm-hmm.
you are still entitled to 10% commission, even if you sell someone, not sell, that's a wrong word. If you help someone who has chosen to exchange some of their fiat money for gold-backed assets,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they choose to acquire, you will be paid a commission of 10%.
Okay.
And our commissions are paid on a prepaid MasterCard every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock Stuttgart time, every week without fail. If you earned a commission.
Every Friday, do you have some advance notice, or do you just go check your bank account? How do you know what you made that week?
Well, it's on your dashboard.
Oh, it's on the dashboard. Well, that's duh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty simple.
And if you check your MasterCard, once you've earned commissions, you can then order your MasterCard to be sent to you. Then when you receive it, you have to go to get your PIN number that you must remember. And I have used my KaratBars MasterCard all over the world. I've been to Cape Town. I've used it in airports in Germany. I've been to Amsterdam and Vegas.
You were in Amsterdam recently. Tell the folks, you went to Amsterdam courtesy of the company, correct?
Yes.
I mean, is that the right way to say that?
Well, as I said,
it was so... or you made money? How did that come about?
Well, as I said, I was really passionate about this. And I went a little viral among my friends and family.
Okay.
And I qualified for travel money to cover my costs to go to Amsterdam.
Okay.
And because that was over and above the commissions I made. Plus, they gave me a whole bunch of extra free crypto coins.
Wow, that sounds like you hit the jackpot. Now, I know everybody's different, and you get out of something, what you put into it. In theory, that's how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
Is there anyone out there that's part of the company now that's talking about the kind of money that they've made? I know there's a contest or something.
No, we're not
going
allowed
on now.
to.
You're not allowed to do that. Okay.
We are not allowed to talk about our earnings.
There's a thing, and well, why is that?
Because we're doing this from the heart.
Yeah. Okay.
The money is just a little bonus to me.
Right.
Knowing that my siblings have their futures protected when we go through another major market correction. To me, I'm doing it from the heart. So, well, I was only in the company 2 weeks when I get a call from one of my uplines, and she says, have you got a valid passport? And I said, yeah. And I said, why? She said, you're going to Cape Town. And I said, no, I'm not. And she said, why not? And I said, well, the cost of hotels and airfares, and I have no interest in going to Africa right now. So she hung up on me. But she got her upline to call me from Edmonton, and he said, girl, you're going to Cape Town. And I said, what are you talking about? I didn't even know there was an incentive.
Yeah, well, from a legal perspective, I can understand why the company would not want people running around shouting about how much they made, because that's going to lead other people to think that they can earn the same kind of money. And then there's all kind of legal hot water. So, yeah, I wish the company would come up with an official answer to that question that better satisfies people's curiosity. But I guess all I can suggest, folks, is that
bottom line is
register and find out, for yourself. You don't have to take our word for anything at all. Just go your own
some
word.
of the people in the company spoke to 41 people about KaratBars before someone said yes. And now she's a big earner. You got to believe in it yourself. You got to really walk the talk, and the more you work, the more successful you will be.
As it should be in life and in all things. But there's no promises, folks. There's no guarantees.
No.
I wish I could tell you that this would be the next Bitcoin and that you would make $1 gajillion, but I'm not going to tell you anything that I, can't back up. I have great hope for the company, the opportunity, for everyone that's involved. That's myself included. I would, no matter how excited you go, let's say you register, you become an affiliate, you go into the back office, you do your due diligence, and you're just giddy with excitement. You're on
And you don't sleep for 2 nights.
And you don't sleep for 2 nights.
Most of us don't sleep for 2 nights once we really get it.
Okay. Make sure that your credit card and your checkbook are locked away somewhere far away from you, okay? Let the initial fire settle down, okay? Don't run out and, spend money that you can't afford to lose. I'm not saying you're going to lose money. I'm also not saying you're going to make money. I'm saying it's an opportunity. You have to think clearly, okay? Now, we all wish we had put, a couple $100 in Bitcoin when we first heard about it. We'd all have a lot of commas in our bank account now, okay? But we didn't. So there's something about the human mind, our lizard brains. Mentally, we want to transfer that. Okay, so I missed becoming a gajillionaire with the Bitcoins. So this is the universe speaking to me, telling me I can become that person through this vehicle. All I'm saying is don't fool yourself. Nobody here is trying to fool you. Don't fool yourself. Hopes and dreams are wonderful things, but there's also this thing called reality, and that's how you have to look at this from a realistic point of view. Go talk to your accountant. Go talk to your attorney. Now, of course, there are always going to be naysayers. So you have to, don't just talk to one person. If you speak to one person and they're gushing like you are, go find somebody else that maybe has a little different opinion that might, pose some questions that you didn't think of.
That's excellent.
This isn't a lottery ticket. I don't want you to think of it that way.
Just think, as I made the point, when the first one out in the marketplace with the new technology, a disruptive technology, often gets a good share of that specialty niche. The K1 Impulse phone and our WIM computers. I think once business owners, company executives get to learn about these things, they may want to invest in those units for their employees, especially their executive. So think of the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the crypto for a minute. Think about the voice over blockchain technology on phones and laptops. And who knows, maybe the next thing that crypto data will come up with will be
Tony, I think I just lost your audio. I definitely lost your audio, Tony. All right, she'll pop back in here in a moment. Now, let me go over, there's a question here, one that I don't think was answered in our discussion. The question, gold is a soft metal. Does it rub off in your wallet? That's a great question, and honestly, it's not one that I had thought of. And then another question. And Valerie, if you're still here, you may already be gone because I know you had things to do. If you can get a hold of Tony, let her know we lost her audio and get her to try to log back in. We can always have her back tomorrow. But these questions, let's see. How can we be assured that KB International will actually maintain enough physical gold to completely back the KB coin? That is a great question. You heard us mention, or heard me mention early on about a gold savings account, how you can earn interest on your gold. Now that's something people go, wait a minute, I understand interest on a savings account or CD. How am I going to make interest on gold? Okay. You buy gold, you store it in their vault. You can take physical delivery. Any of the items that we talked about, you can take physical delivery, or you can store it in the vault to earn interest. That's how it comes to be that the cryptocurrency is backed by gold. Actually backed by your gold stored in their vault. And I'll be honest, when I realized that, Tony said it's from my end because she can hear me, but we can't hear her. Well, hang on. Let me look, Tony, and see if your mic is muted. Somehow your mic got muted. Okay. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, so you heard the question. Gold is a soft metal. Does it rub off in your wallet?
No, because the cards and the cash gold notes have kind of a vinyl or a heavy plastic coating to protect them from that.
Okay. All right. And then the other question, how can we be assured KB International will actually maintain enough physical gold to completely back the KB coin? Now, I gave my understanding, my answer to that question. I don't know that it's 100% correct. Do you have something that you want to add to that, or do you have an answer different from mine?
I'm not sure either. The thing is, they are putting more and more gold into their vaults. As they sell, as the company sells the coins, they make sure there is sufficient gold for every coin that is sold.
And these are also the types of questions that you don't necessarily have to get the answer from an affiliate, a Tony or a Dwayne. You can go straight to the company and ask these questions. Just keep in mind the time difference between here and Stuttgart.
Yes. As you mentioned, gold vaults, where else can someone who has a large holding get 15% bonus added to their gold holdings? If you have a large, at the top, the company pays 4%, not pays, but gives a bonus, adds a bonus of 4% to the gold someone has in their stored in their vault for 12 months. And it goes, the more gold, the higher the percentage, up to 15% for trusting the company with your gold holdings, 15% per year. I don't think banks pay you anything for storing gold in their vaults, do they?
I don't. I think by law you aren't allowed to. I know you're not allowed to keep gold or currency. My understanding, like in a safe deposit box, you're not supposed to keep U.S. currency or gold, other than jewelry, that type of thing. Now, Don, who asked that question about how can we be assured that they're going to maintain sufficient reserves to back the coin? Honestly, that was my biggest sticking point right there when Tony first explained this to me, and I began to get familiar with the company and do my own research. I kept coming back to that and coming back to that.
Okay, may I mention something?
Yeah.
The chairman of the board, Mr. Joseph Haidt, is a billionaire mining magnate. So about every 6 months, he finds a very rich mine that the company will do joint ventures with. So we're adding more and more mines to supply the gold needed. And this chairman of the board, that's his area of expertise.
Now, at some point, I had to, after I did the reasoning in my head, you store in the vault, collect interest. That's how the coin becomes backed by gold. At some point, I had to say, okay, I've intellectualized this as much as I can. a certain element of this is going to have to be based on a thing called, faith. If someone offered you an opportunity to get into Bitcoin a decade ago, of course the question would be, well, how can I be assured that someday this thing is going to be worth more than what I pay for it today? Well, of course, nobody could give you that guarantee. I don't know that there can be any, guarantee. I've heard talk about some insurance company, but you know what? Those are questions above my pay grade, or at least the answer. I don't have enough working knowledge yet to give you an attorney type response or even a financial wizard type response. But it's a great question.
It is it's a great question, Dwayne. The fact that the company's been in business for 8 years, it has a track record of meeting every goal they have set.
That is true. They've stood and delivered on everything promised. The date, this hard fork date, was moved up. Initially, that caused me a little concern, but again, I weighed it against everything I know, everything I understand. And we all know that no great investment, and whether you call this an investment or not, but no great opportunity ever comes with an ironclad guarantee, because if it did, then it would be an opportunity. It would just, something that everybody does. So that's why it's so important that each person, whether you put in $1 or $100 million, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your future and to your legacy, to do the work, to do the due diligence, get to the bottom of this. But we are having this webinar today, this Q&A, because, did you say 4 days?
Yes.
Is there any talk of it being moved up or changed again? I don't want people rushing out, making hasty decisions against an unrealistic date. So you tell me.
If I have no knowledge of it being extended. I do know they said that the hard fork will happen before the end of the year, which means that the sale of the KCB coins will be closed. But there are some really, if you watch the gold standard webinar, the last one I gave you, at the end of the webinar, Nitsa puts up on the screen some of the packages and the bonuses added, etc. It's incredible. I have a gentleman from Vancouver who follows a lot of the mining conferences and stuff. He chose to move money out of his savings into gold-backed assets, and we started with 15,000 euros, and part of it was he was getting cash gold, so we used the cash gold from the bigger package and we bought another package, etc., etc. So I compounded what he was doing, and he ended up with approximately somewhere around double what he actually put in, because we recycled or reinvested the cash gold that came with each of the packages.
Right, it's just like compounding interest kind of a thing.
Yes, and he was very, very happy. He hadn't thought about that you could use that cash gold and buy more and get more bonuses and more extra coins for yourself that way. So I would be quite happy if someone wants to email me and wants me to call them. I'd be happy to call them.
Let me put that back up on the screen one more time. Here is the address to register. Yes, my wife and I, if you register here and move forward with this and do business, sign up people, whatever, I will financially benefit. My wife will. Tony will. I don't want anybody to think anything other than that. We're in it for the money. Now, yeah, we want to help people. Of course, that's what CFRN's all about, always has been. But at the end of the day, it's also about making money, because guess what? Ministry costs money. You want to go build an orphanage? You better bring your checkbook. You want to house the homeless? Bring a checkbook. Want to feed the hungry? better bring a checkbook. That money's got to come from somewhere. Far too long, the body of Christ has gained the resources required to do God's work by standing before wealthy men and women with their hat in hand, shuffling their feet, saying, would you please help me do God's work? And I'm going to tell you something. I think that's unbiblical, period. I do not believe that is how God intended for us to build his kingdom here on planet Earth. Not fetching and stepping, hat in hand, looking for a handout. No, this has gone on for too long. And that is the foundation and the principle upon which CFRN was originally built. And we stand by that today. There's a better way, and we're on to it. Any final questions, any final comments from you, Tony? And this time, Tony, you're not muted. This time, you're completely off the map. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it here. No, I want to make sure I don't miss any questions. Let me scroll down. Scrolling. Don shares, the Vatican is using donations for the poor to fight its budget deficit. Now, he's quoting that from CNBC. Vatican uses donations for poor to fight budget deficit. I'm going to share that link. He goes on to say, as little as 10% of donations by Roman Catholics that are specifically advertised as helping the poor and suffering, only 10% actually go towards charitable work. And that quote comes from the Wall Street Journal. Now, there is a TED Talk out there that talks about charities, charitable organizations, the CEOs that they hire, the type of money that they earn. I used to have some very strong feelings on this subject. And once I listened to that TED Talk, I did a complete 180. I won't even go into the details. I think it's important for you, to whoever you are, whoever's listening to this, just Google TED Talks, charitable giving, CEO pay. It'll take you to that TED Talk. It's about 10 minutes, I think. And I'd love to hear from you. In fact, if I can remember this, we'll bring it up on tomorrow's show, or somebody remind me. I'd love to hear from folks that go and watch that video. And do you agree? Do you disagree? Okay. Well, Tony, I don't see. Oh, your mic got muted again. What's going on? All right. I know you got to run. I've got to finish up the show. Thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to having, let's see, if we're 4 days out, I'm going to try to contact the company tomorrow. I want to see if that is a hard date for the hard fork. We'll talk about it again on the show tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. If you're available and have time, Tony, maybe you pop in for a quick 10, 15-minute chat on Friday. How about that?
I'd love that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, the S&P. All right. Bye-bye, Tony.
Bye, everybody.
God bless you.
God bless you, too.
Okay. All right. So the S&P Fed announcement came out, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's this candle right here. Press conference started and is still going right here. Press conference started at 2:30, I believe. So we've gone from the trigger at 31. Did I say 41? 31. Yeah, hang on, I'm going to bring that up again. If you're joining the show late, if by chance you did not have an opportunity to grab a screenshot earlier, here you go, because we're going to run through these real quick. Okay, it was 31.40. Okay, long side 31.40, short side 31.31. This is what we teach all of our traders to do when the alerts come in. The concierge alerts, that's a static report. You get it shortly after the Globex open each evening. Go to the markets that you trade, right here last night when they came out. That's all you could see. You couldn't see any of this because it hadn't happened yet, okay? So price goes down to the trigger on the south side, takes a look around and says, goes the other way. Now, this, call it a prairie dog. Before I met Mike Reed, I called it up periscope. Maybe you get that. Looks around and not too convinced. So where does it go? It goes right back to the other trigger. Races back up. I wouldn't exactly call that a race. It goes back to the long trigger. So we get a 3.5 point move. We get a 3 point move. And on this third trigger, so far we have a swing high at 44.5. So that's a 4.5 point move so far. You are looking at last week's weekly trading zones. Current weekly zones will be shared here on the show tomorrow. It's later on a Wednesday. Honestly, I would just do it today if we had the time, but I kind of got to hurry to get through all of this. So we had 3 triggers on the long side for the S&P Concierge last night. We can call that a trigger. Didn't go anywhere. Not much happened. Wait a minute. Do you mean I could have gotten stopped out on that? Yes, you could. Stops are a fact of life. Well, they're certainly a fact of trading. In trading, you will get stopped out. Now, I know there's websites out there, and I'm sure you get a plethora of emails. That's my word for the day. Use a word 5 times, you own it. Okay. So you get a plethora of emails each and every day that tell you how somebody somewhere has figured out how to predict the future in regards to the markets. So you line up, you pay the man his money. Lo and behold, turns out he really can't tell the future. But he sent you an email in January and shows you evidence of his mastery. 2 weeks later, you got another email. A month later, you got another one. I mean, this guy's just nailing it, man. You've been watching these emails come in now for a year. You'd be crazy not to line up and pay the man, right? Okay, always ask this question. I love that trade you did January 12th, and I love that trade you did February 2nd. Could I please ask you what you did in between there? See, oftentimes folks don't want to talk about that. We don't have any problem talking about that. We trade live every day in front of whoever's in the live training room, whether you're a partner, passport holder, or on a trial. You see what we do live in real time. The Concierge Trade Alerts, I display them for all the world to see on the show each and every day, the time that they went out. And our Logic 247 alerts, those are dynamic, in the moment, real time, as opportunity develops type alerts. So, I mean, you get those in real time, whether you're on a trial or part of the family. I mean, you know whether it's real or not. So there's nothing to hide. There's no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed when you get stopped out. If you're getting stopped out, you're on your way to becoming a trader. If you're getting stopped out, you may already be a trader. Well, I thought, well, you know, careful. I used to do a lot of thinking too. I had to kind of put a halt to some of the thinking, mind racing, pondering, wanting to know the unknowable. I gave up on that hunt, that quest. What I do understand is that it is possible, and I'm showing you evidence of it right here, right now. It is possible to know what the next high probability move in the market is. Any market, any time frame. You just apply our methodology and our indicators. And I'm not saying that we're the only people who know how to tell you what the next high probability move is. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's what we do We don't try to mislead you and convince you that we know the unknowable. And if you have questions about knowing the unknowable, go read Genesis. When God put Adam together, he did not include the ingredient called being able to change the past or know the future. Those two things are inextricably linked for eternity. So the next time somebody tries to pull the wool over your eyes, straighten them out. And then say, God bless you, be polite. Okay? Half kidding. Half not. Where are we at? Going back to the trigger. What happens when price finds resistance that it can't get through? It goes looking for support. If it cannot get through the support, it then goes looking for resistance. So let's just do this. Once the clouds part, it all becomes just so very logical. Okay? No magic, no skullduggery, just logic. Spock was onto something. Price gets above the BBC. That's the bull-bear cross we talked about earlier. Bullish above it, bearish below it. Doesn't matter the time frame, doesn't matter the market. Price eked out a slightly higher high right here. Swing high over here was 31.43.5. And over here, oh, come on now. High in its entirety or read it, but what I've seen scroll across the screen sounds like the Fed's not planning on lowering or raising rates anytime soon. And of course, that's always subject to change. So from 83.90 with the Fed fuel, we made it up to 84.11. Okay, so that's 21 NQ points at $20 a point, $400 per contract traded. The short side was 83.30, and obviously we've not done any business at that price level today. So we covered the S&P, we covered the Dow, the Russell, the NQ. Let's go to gold. I'm sorry, let's go to crude. We did have crude inventories today. Last night we said to consider being short 58.75. That's right here. Okay. 58.75. The swing low was 58.11. So if it was 10, that'd be 65. So it's 64. That's a $640 per contract move. 64 ticks, $10 a tick, $640 per contract traded. The long side on crude was 59.35, which is up here, and we've not touched that in this session. Now gold. Okay. Last night's alert on gold. Consider being long, 1471. And here's 71. Here, close enough. 1471. Swing high. 1483. So from 71 to 81, call it 10 points. $100 per point, $1,000 per contract traded. Now we triggered multiple times here without really going anywhere. On this market, I want you to notice as we go up and trigger, okay, price can't really, the obstacle overhead was this swing high. And of course, the weekly zone overhead. Now, that's last week's zone. We have this week's zone at 71.72, which means that 71, I won't even go into that. It's just suffice it to say, Dwayne made a small mistake here, but anybody who's a partner, anybody who's a passport holder, you get the numbers, you look at the chart, you have your zones on the chart. So anytime I typo something, if you don't know the right answer, then you contact me because I'm always available to you in Telegram, or you just ask one of the other guys that's in the discussion group, okay? That entry should have been a little bit higher because of where this week's zone is. So there we go. So yeah, when I mess up, I don't have a problem telling you, and I try, and when something goes extraordinarily well, I try not to toot our horn too much. I strive for balance. We all should, and not just in trading, but in all areas of our life. God loves a humble man. And if you refuse to humble yourself, when the hand of God humbles you, man, you know you've been humbled. All right. That covers the Concierge Trade Alerts. We did bonds last night. We did soybeans. We don't have a lot of bond traders. We don't have a lot of bean traders. So because of time, if you want to look those up or check with Valerie, she'd be happy to give you the numbers if you don't have access. Okay, I know she sent me a recap. Okay, and here it is. And here we go. Okay, now, as of 12:15 today, when she did the recap, so far this week, we started Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We've issued 30 alerts total. 5 of them never triggered. Waiting on 2. We've had 23 actionable alerts. 5 of those have been stopped out. That's 22% of actionable alerts this week stopped out. Over the last 71 weeks, we've averaged 20%. We've had weeks of 0, weeks of 10%, and we had a week of, I think, 30% one week. And I think there was like a 24% in there, but whatever, the average, 20%, okay? And just to give you an idea what those look like, then we're going to go to the good word for the day, and we're going to wrap it, okay? Stand by. Here we go. Again, we are in week 71. Last week, week 70, 45 alerts were issued, 5 never triggered, 5 carried over. That gave us 35 actionable alerts. 11% were stopped out. That's last week. This week, we're at 22% so far. Still have 2 trading days left. And tonight, we're as active on the overnight session as we are on the day session, sometimes more active because Globex has changed. Globex used to be what they called a shadow market. It was there, but nobody paid it much attention. It certainly wasn't a place where major market moves began or ended. And now, quite often, it's exactly where they begin and sometimes end. Okay, so Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, first trade out of the gate, S&P stopped out. I'm not gonna, I detailed them all yesterday. X is stopped out. Thumbs up means we found a target. Z's mean never triggered. So that's Sunday night. Here comes Monday. These are available for inspection anytime after the fact, of course. If you want this information before it happens, well then of course, you know, there's this crazy little thing called you got to become a partner or passport holder, right? You make a commitment, we make a commitment. It's that simple. But we freely distribute our work, both Concierge, Logic, And of course, you see us do our thing every day, live in real time. Everything's live in real time, around the clock. But you actually see Michael, you know, putting on and taking off trades in the morning so that you learn how to do it yourself. Remember, our goal is not to keep you trapped as a client forever so that we can feed you trades whenever we feel like it. No, our goal is to really set you free. We don't want you to be dependent on anybody. That includes us. Let us teach you, yes. Then, you know, you come hang out whenever you want. Whenever you need help, we're here. Okay. All right, so that was Monday, big day Monday. Tuesday. I guess I haven't done anything today since midnight. Yeah, I had a busy morning getting ready for the Tony interview and some other stuff. So I'll get some stuff out this afternoon. And with that, we'll go to our, been a good week. I mean, 22%, I can live with that. I think we'll see how the week ends. How about that? Remember, God loves a humble man. Okay, good word for the day. Now, if there's any questions, oh, Don, I wanted to talk about this piece that you put in, but I wanted John to be here because I wanted to discuss it. This came from Don earlier. It was from Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge is a good place to get your information. The Fed and the banks grossly underestimated how much of the increased U.S. Treasury debt issuance they would have to buy. In just the last quarter, the Treasury issued nearly $1 trillion of debt. At the same time, foreign sponsorship of U.S. Treasuries has been declining. While predictable, the large amount of cash required to buy Treasury notes and bonds may have created a cash shortfall. For more on why this problem is even more pronounced today, read our article, Who is Funding Uncle Sam? If this is the case, the Fed is funding the Treasury under the table via quantitative easing. This is better known as debt monetization. Okay, please read that article. It's very important. It makes what we talked about today regarding gold and cryptocurrencies maybe even more important. Okay. And then Don goes on to say, consider one catastrophic event and everyone who wants their gold all at once. Yeah, that would be a catastrophe. It would be a run on the banks. It would be right out of the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Now, here's how I'm going to play it. And of course, you play it however, you know, and I'm speaking to not just you, Don, I'm talking to everybody. I will leave some of my cash gold, whatever the right term is, on deposit for the purpose of interest and, you know, kind of playing my role as, you know, understanding and being a part of it being a gold-backed crypto. Okay, now but I'm going to take delivery on others. Now that's just the cash gold part. So the crypto, that's a whole separate issue. This is why it's important. There's just too many moving parts to explain it all on a radio broadcast, even with charts, pictures, and videos. That's why it's important that you do the registration thing, go research it. I'm telling you, it took me a while, weeks, yeah, months, let's be honest, Dwayne. It took me months to really develop in my mind a picture of the entire ecosystem and how each part relates to the other. And then it led me to, how could anybody be that smart? They're either the smartest people on earth, or Howard Seitz is the greatest showman on earth. If you haven't seen that movie, the acting's a little, yeah, I don't know. But the soundtrack, the music, I liked it. My kids fell in love with it. It gets played here in the house. You go from room to room, and Alexa's got, you know, some song from that soundtrack playing. Hey, Alexa, play The Greatest Showman on Earth.
The Greatest Showman, original motion picture soundtrack by various artists on Amazon Music.
Alexa, pause. Okay. I won't make you listen to the whole thing. Hugh Jackman was in the movie, and you know the cast of characters, again, the acting, I don't know, but I was kind of grimacing through the whole thing, just a little bit. But at the end of the day, and when I reflected back on it the next day, I actually went, I like that. Have you ever not know you like something till after the fact? Anyway, do tell. All right. Good word for the day. Let's do it. I'll find it. Got it. My notes are somewhere. Don't think they're there. So I'll look in the other place. Maybe they're here. Maybe I'm not even in the right book. All right, let's see. We'll find it. All right. Refresh our memories. Yesterday we talked about, wait for it. I just keep waiting. I really do have notes. Closing in. Okay. All right, this is a tough one, okay? Is that why it took me so long to find it? I don't know. But we've all been there, I think, unless we're trust fund babies. And if you don't know what that is, you aren't one. What do you do when you can't make ends meet? Perhaps you grew up as Tony, dirt poor. My family, I considered us working class poor. I know there was other kids at school. Man, mom and dad bought them brand new cars, you know, when they were just in high school. And I mean, my parents would have loved nothing more than to buy me a car, I think. But again, they had to work for a living. My mom and dad both worked so that there was food on the table and the mortgage got paid. So now we've all been taught, we've heard it preached, that we serve a God of abundance, that we're part of a royal lineage, that we've inherited it all when we become born again. Well, when the guy's out front in his little truck, turning off the water to your house, and you know there's children coming home from school soon, and they might want to drink water, or they may need to take a shower. What do you say to them? We can always explain stuff away in our own head. We can justify our actions. Just no. Psalm 34:10. Those who trust in the Lord will lack no good thing. Even strong young lions sometimes go hungry, but those who trust in the Lord will lack no good thing. This is one of those scriptures you really have to kind of dig into, because on the surface, there's probably no one in this office except the trust fund babies who could say, well, hey, but wait a minute. What about? This being a Christian thing, it's not easy, but if we don't overthink it, it can be simple. But I don't preach blind faith. Question. Have you ever lost your job? Has that ever happened to you? Maybe you're facing the possibility of losing your home right now or going bankrupt. And you can scarcely believe it, because every time you turn on the TV, there's somebody telling you that this is the greatest economy the world has ever known. Not a good one. Not just a bull market. The greatest of all time. And here you are going broke. And maybe you didn't even do anything wrong. Is that even possible? I assure you it is. Maybe right now, amidst all, we just had the biggest Black Friday ever, and there's going to be more packages unwrapped and more bows and paper hanging out of the trash can this Christmas than ever before. But you're in the toughest place you've ever been. Philippians 3:8. Paul suffered the loss of all things. The scripture says, more than that, I count all things to be loss in view of the surpassing value of knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and count them but rubbish, so that I may gain Christ. Paul went on to say in Philippians 4:19, and my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Now, no matter how dire the circumstance, what God did for Paul, I believe God can and will do for you. With or without a salary, with or without some anticipated source of income, God can do that for you. God can supply all of your needs. The psalmist said, those who trust in the Lord will lack no good thing. One of the things you have to watch out for is the enemy's worst case scenario talk. Stinking thinking. If you allow him, the enemy will paint mental images of you living in a cardboard box under a bridge. Very lifelike. I just want to encourage you. Stand on God's word and declare Isaiah 1:19 over your life. Lord, you said, if I'm willing and obedient, I will enjoy the best you have to offer. Isaiah 1:19, if you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. Okay? Now, Before we go questioning God and whether or not he's done his part, let us first address ourselves and our own lives and ask ourselves the tough question, have we done our part? There's two parts to this equation. You have to be willing and, here comes the O word, obedient. Have you been obedient to God's word? If you lack any good thing in your life, have you been obedient to his word? Psalm 5:12. You promise to surround me with your favor. Your word says that you can do more than anything I could even ask or think, according to your power that works within me. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover him with favor as with a shield. Even though nothing seems to be going right for me just now, give me faith to believe. Give me faith to believe you for good things and better days. Your word tells me to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let my requests be made known to you. That your peace, which surpasses human understanding, will guard my heart and my mind. Now that's Philippians 4:6-7. One more time. Worry about nothing. Pray about everything. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. Father, as I honor you today with my obedience, I pray that you would honor your word today. In Jesus' name. If tough times are knocking on your door, pray that prayer. And take a good look at your life. In what area have you not been obedient to God? Sure, we all just shrug our shoulders and say, you talking to me? I don't know, am I? Am I talking to you? He has the answer to everything. But maybe you haven't asked the question, the right question. Maybe you're afraid of the question because you already know the answer. Guess what? He does too. If your life looks more like a shipwreck than a smooth sailing ship, then just stop. Just stop wherever you are right now. If you're driving your car, pull over. Okay? When you get close to God, it's best not to be operating heavy equipment or driving a motor vehicle. Half kidding. Take a good look. A fearless and searching moral inventory. What's going on, man? God did not intend for you to live this way. He did not promise you that you'd have 2 pink Cadillacs in the driveway or a summer home in the Hamptons. Don't put words in his mouth. Let him put words in your mouth. Okay? What did he say? if you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover the obedient man with your favor like a shield. Your word, God, tells me I shouldn't worry, but I am worried. Your word tells me that instead of worrying, that I should be praying. I should be talking with you. I should draw close to you. Your word says, God, that if I do these things, that your peace, which surpasses all understanding, will guard my heart and my mind. Your word says that you will cover my backside. That's what it says. And I believe it. So I'm not calling you out, God. I'm calling myself out, and I'm calling anyone else out that is within the sound of my voice. If there's something not right with this picture. Remember in school? What's the difference between these two pictures, or what's wrong with this picture? Okay, first make sure that there's something wrong with the picture. Just because you don't have two pink Cadillacs in the driveway, and I'm not picking on pink or Cadillacs, just trying to make a point. He said, I'll take care of all your needs according to. He didn't say wants. Now, he did say that he would give you the desire of your heart, right? You've heard that preached, right? How did you hear it preached? Because if it had anything to do with two pink Cadillacs in your driveway, maybe you need to listen to that again. Okay. Here's how I hear that. When I hear the word preached, or I read the scripture, that God is going to give me the desires of my heart, I take that to mean that if I draw close to him, he's going to take his desire and place it in my heart. And the things that today I think are important, are the things that matter, the things that are temporary. He's going to help me get my mind right. He's going to set my thinking straight. And instead of feeling left out or left behind or discarded, I'm going to count my blessings. I'm going to walk and talk with a spirit of thanksgiving. And if there is something I need, because I have his word, I have his promise. If there's something I need, if there's something my family needs, if there's something that someone within my sphere of influence needs, I'm going to take a look at me and my life, how I'm living that life. And that's where I'm going to find my answer. I already have the promise. I already have his word. He's not a man. He doesn't lie. He's not going to back out. And thank God he doesn't give up. Because when we need him most, he's always there. Interesting, isn't it? It's at the end of ourselves that we find the beginning of God. there's anything I can do to help you, you know how to get a hold of me. You know my phone number, you know my email address, and you know I spend most of my time around Telegram. It's where I do most of my business. Whether it's an encouraging word, a prayer, or a good old-fashioned stern talking to, my door is always open. That's part of my purpose. That's part of my destiny. Helping you find yours. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.